Bye.
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 Bye. So, but we can't keep doing this.
Yeah, we can.
No.
We've done it for a month.
I know, but we should really record another episode.
We probably should.
Okay.
Continuity joke.
Yes.
If you were somehow listening to this on it's going to mean nothing to nobody.
No, it's not. It's not going to mean anything.
If you click on there's a playlist, isn't there, of every episode?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, maybe if you're binging that.
Yeah.
Kind of.
The poor soul that just, stomached episode 52.
Yeah.
And was now like, oh yeah, I'm game for another one.
Do some more.
Yeah, I could do some more, yeah.
Someone listens to this. Introduce yourself and then we can we'll talk.
Hello. This is the Funfiltered podcast. This is our 53rd episode. I am Jordan, and that's Sam.
Hi. They have no frame of reference.
Do they not?
They don't know, you just nodded at me. So that's Sam. But that is, they don't know what that means.
Yeah, but audioistically?
Audially?
Audibly.
Yeah.
I said that's Sam, and then you spoke.
Alright, okay.
So
Did your stomach do a thing then?
Did it?
I thought I heard your stomach go, yeah.
Oh God, even I can't stomach our podcast. And I edit it.
Yeah.
And I'm on it. Yeah.
Oh, you did send me a message as you were editing the last episode telling me that my breathing and just general noises, you couldn't stand it anymore.
Yeah, I just wanted to curl into a ball and
jump
cry.
Off a cliff.
And curl into a ball and then jump off a cliff.
Roll off a roly-poly
off a cliff.
Yeah. He died with some novelty. Yeah, okay. Someone listens to this podcast to go to sleep. Well, they put it on in the background, don't
yes.
they? Yeah.
They'll hear this as well, because they say it's typically the first 10 minutes that they hear
before
they drop off.
Hello, Person X.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't met. Me and Person X.
you have met.
Yeah, we've met.
Yes, yeah. Me and Sam have met. We know.
Tediously met.
we know who each other are by now.
But then I sent a clip to somebody else.
Yeah.
And it was a 3-minute clip.
Yeah.
And they said, that stressed me out. So I can't imagine how anyone...
Have we ever argued... Because it was part of an argument.
Yes.
That you sent them, and they were like, oh, no.
Yeah,
I can't be dealing with that. I don't feel like we've ever argued in the first 10 minutes. Or ever got too animated in the first 10 minutes.
I think part of argument on the podcast is not fatigue, but kind of agitation. Because you're talking for a long time and you work yourself up to... Because it's not, we've done it for quite a long time now. I was thinking earlier back to the early episodes when we had to psych ourselves up to even start recording, and there'd be 10 false starts and blunders. And now we just do it, and there's barely any adrenaline anymore. It's just you just do it. But there is still a little bit of adrenaline. So I think the longer you do it, the kind of more tightly wound you can sometimes get.
Right, okay.
So I think that's why it seldom happens in the first 10 minutes.
Okay.
And we haven't fallen out with each other yet. You know what I mean? It's just...
yeah, we got a whole episode lined up
to go.
Well, we could do that. Shall we tell them what's coming up on today's episode?
Let's do that.
Okay. Coming up.
We paid tribute to Sean Locke and Norm Macdonald.
I bring up the film Worth and we talk about 9/11.
We talk about the James Moore Welsh language controversy.
Calling a spade, an analysis.
We revisit the MCU.
And we review Candyman.
Shall we start with the saddest stuff?
Yeah, let's ease you in with the sad shit. Cancer's been busy again.
It has.
Hasn't it?
Yeah.
Who did we lose recently, Sam?
We lost Sean Locke.
Yes.
About a month ago.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd actually recorded 52 before or after his death.
I honestly can't remember.
No.
But yeah, Sean Locke, and then, as we're recording a few days ago, Norm Macdonald, an American comedian.
Yeah, do a bit of background on both of them.
Yeah, well, Sean Locke, I'm sure everyone listening knows, but if you don't, British comedian, one of those people usually cited as a comedian's comedian, kind of friends with the alt comedians like Stuart Lee and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But also very mainstream presence.
Well, you'd know him maybe not so much by his stand-up, but you'd know him through his appearances on panel shows.
Yeah, 8 out of 10 Cats. He was a regular. From the first episode.
I think he did. Yeah, that was his main thing.
Yeah.
I think he did a few episodes of QI.
QI probably popped up on Mock the Week.
Yeah,
that's probably where I first saw him.
Okay,
when I used to watch that back in the old days. Yeah, I always liked Sean Locke. He just had that thing of I don't know whether he genuinely believed it, but he was kind of contemptuous of being on panel shows. Like, it was kind of beneath him almost.
Right.
Not that you've got a sense of arrogance, but alternative comedians don't always slot nicely into panel shows. He did, don't get me wrong. It's not like he stood out or anything. But especially 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown, the more that went on, whenever he made a joke about it being interminable, I got the sense that wasn't much of a joke.
This is the point where you play literally any 1 minute segment of the Jedward Christmas special, right?
Well, the Jedward Christmas special for me is the peak of Locke.
Yeah.
I did like his stand-up. It heavily featured animal abuse. That was a staple recurring theme of his stand-up.
Yeah.
But no, the Jedward Christmas special, when I was ill basically for all of 2019, that was one of the few things on rotation that buoyed my spirits.
Right.
Just for how utterly... I mean, they bring chaos with them wherever they go, obviously. And they bring middle-aged men going, shut the fuck up! as they did on Nevermind the Buzzcocks. When Charlie Higson... There's a moment where he just breaks character and just goes, shut up! And, Sean Locke was kind of rolling... I mean, it's a comedian's dream. It must be to some degree, right? To be on a panel with Jedward.
Yeah. And be supported.
Yes.
Because you get the sense that like everyone's kind of with Sean Locke.
Oh yeah, he's the hero of that particular. Yeah. Well, how do you describe his comedy? Kind of misanthropic, deadpan.
Yeah, very dry.
Very, very dry, absurd. Kind of old, not quite old bloke down, like weird bloke down the pub. You know? Yeah, just like an old school comic.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily have called him like edgy, but it did feel like he would flirt with dangerous territory a couple of times. Like he'd really push, like animal abuse would come up, and then he'd go, no, but actually, let's he'd sort of like dwell on it a little bit, and he'd embellish like the metaphor for comedic effect and stuff.
I also get the sense that he was very much, a function of his age, maybe more than anything, but he was like a common sense human being. So I remember on one episode of Cats Does Countdown, there was a female comedian sitting next to him, and she said something very wokey.
Yeah.
And he just kind of went, what are you talking about? You got the sense he actually just like, that's stupid what you just said. Yeah, sometimes you feel like you can infer someone's belief system or the kind of things they would find tedious, or I feel like I got that from Sean Locke, even if he didn't say it. I liked him a lot.
Yeah, and the thing that surprised me, because I was familiar with Sean Locke, obviously through I never really watched 8 out of 10 Cats or 8 out of 10 Cats This Countdown, so his main export, I suppose, is one that I never really engaged in. But I saw him through QI, and I saw like sets that he did on Live at the Apollo and stuff like that. My impression was always that he appealed to a slightly older crowd.
Yeah.
So it was a big surprise to me, just the amount of outpour of like, oh, I can't believe Sean Locke is gone. Oh, I loved his stuff. I'll miss him so much.
I think just if you're British and if you're our age, you was everywhere when you grow up.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't mean that as a bad thing. I'm not saying like, oh, why this guy?
No.
It was a nice surprise. Like, oh, like people actually recognise that like they lost something when Sean Locke.
Well, he's an alternative comedian, isn't he? That's the thing. He's not a Michael McIntyre or,
No. Though he does pop up in those forums.
Like Live at the Apollo and that kind of thing. Yeah, sure. But I read Stuart Lee's book, does it have to be a comedian? It's something like How I Learned to Be a Comedian. His biggest book, anyway. And in that, he talks about Sean Locke and how Stuart Lee was going through some dilemma over whether he should prioritise. It was a Stuart Lee dilemma in that, like, most people wouldn't even consider it. Like, something he felt vaguely would have made him, would have compromised him artistically.
Right.
For, like, quite a lot of money. And he said, like, Sean Locke, they were, like, out having dinner or whatever, just said to him, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, very down to earth, and just, like, he was the alternative comedian that wasn't a Puritan. Because there are comedians like Daniel Kitson, who I love, but the idea of being seen by people...
Yeah.
I don't like. That's the thing I don't like. It's like the equivalent of bands playing B-sides.
Yeah,
cater to your audience.
Smashing Pumpkins, like, oh, we won't play our classics.
Smashing
like if somebody said, "Oh, play Bullet with Butterfly Wings."
So why didn't you play Bullet with Butterfly Wings or Charabrock? And he said, "Because of people like you." That's why. It's like, mate, this is why you're a millionaire. That's always wound me up.
Yeah. That's the stuff we like. We like you. We like those songs, you bastards.
And there's a place for like Puritanism, like Stuart Lee. Obviously, I really respect. And we need people like that, like uncompromisingly. Just it's the craft, and it's they have their principles. But at the end of the day, like, does it really matter if you sign up to do this panel show for one? So I did really like Sean Locke. He just seemed like a down to earth, but mad comedian. That's all I've really got to say about it.
It felt worthy of acknowledgement, which was nice. Like I said, the fact that it wasn't as much as like when Chester Bennington died, because that was that was like everyone. Like I think I was still working in the petrol station at that point, and people of like multiple generations were like coming in and they were saying, "Have you heard about Chester Bennington?" Yeah, like everyone seemed to be hit by that. But just like people that we knew, like on Facebook, it was like, "Oh, I didn't think that you'd."
I think sometimes
or care about Sean Locke. Yeah,
as hard as we try, I think sometimes our snobbery comes into play a little bit, because I think we would like to consider ourselves comedy people. Like we seek out weird comedy and alternative comedy.
Yeah.
So when someone who kind of fits that mold, obviously he's very popular, but who fits that mold, are more popular than we would like. We probably divide the world into like Stuart Lee and I don't know, like Bill Burr, I guess, not the same thing, but and Daniel Kitson and all them, or you like Michael McIntyre and Jimmy Carr and Lee Evans. But it's not like, I think that I was talking to someone who you wouldn't think would be a Sean Locke fan. And I brought it up and she went, I loved Sean Locke. And I think he, like, maybe for a lot of people, he was like a dad character. Grumpy dad. Yeah. And just people found endearing. Like, even if you weren't down with the totally weird stuff, I think grumpiness appeals to people. A grumpy old man, I think,
Yeah, but like harmless grumpy.
Harmless grumpy. Victor Meldrews.
Yes. Yeah. Just like that.
It was very British as well, isn't it? And he looked very British.
He did.
He really did.
Yeah. Yes, he did. He definitely did that.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
And to Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald, yeah. So how familiar were you with Norm Macdonald?
I saw, like, I was more familiar with his more recent stuff, like the stuff he did on his podcast, and
like his Netflix special.
And like some of the more recent interviews he did, whatever that Huff Post Live interview was.
Yeah,
where they were talking about being a judge on Last Comic Standing, and then he's like, I'd have sex with a tranny.
Well, whatever he's on about. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, like shit like that. I was like, Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
Though I know that he has like a long history to him. I know that he was involved somewhat with Saturday Night Live, the extent of which I'm not like entirely familiar with.
Well, so I was a fan of his. Like I'd seen his specials and his talk show, like you. But I've only become truly acquainted with his lineage, his timeline, since he's passed. And like, there's a treasure trove of material on YouTube.
Yeah,
just him on late night talk shows. Just. It's endless.
In one sense, it's a shame, because it's like, I'm just discovering this guy and now there's not going to be anything new from him. But at the same time, I'm sure people who have followed his career would go, God, you're lucky. You get to experience it all for the first time. Right.
It's unfortunate that it takes something like this, but I've been watching a lot of comedians reacting to his death. And there was a podcast with Howie Mandel and I think Anthony Jeselnik, and they were doing a live podcast. And the guys in the control room flashed it up on the screen for them to see. So you see them actually finding out that he had died. And Anthony Jeselnik said, horrible as it is, like for age, they're just shocked, They can't. He says, I think this will cement his legacy now. And it's true, because I've only become really truly acquainted with him.
Yeah.
Like his context and like his career trajectory since he's died. But SNL, I think was obviously his big break. He wrote on a bunch of shows, and then he hosted Weekend Update on SNL.
Yeah.
Got fired.
No, you did. You showed me a compilation.
Yeah.
A compilation of the his during the OJ trial.
Yeah. He every week would just take loads of swipes at OJ. Like basically every punchline was he killed his wife. And I think maybe the CEO of NBC, kind of like Don Overmeyer or something like that, or Allmeyer, he was friends with OJ.
Right.
And he basically said to Norm Macdonald, cut that shit out. And he just doubled down. And he got sacked for it. And then he had his own sitcom. He was invited, and then he was in a film called Dirty Work, I think. And so like a year and a half later, he was invited back to host SNL. And he has just this scathing monologue where he says, so either I've become funnier or the show sucks. And I know I haven't become funnier. So the show must blow.
Yeah.
And he said you can hear the writers booing. Yeah, and then since then he's just like, stand-up and specials, and then he had his talk show and everything. He's a weird thing, wasn't he?
Yeah, like Sean Locke has his weird moments, but like you said, it's sort of like he's got this kind of like grumpy dad energy to him.
Down to earth, yeah.
Yeah, he's just like this bloke that you can kind of go, yeah. I know what you're saying, Sean Locke. But Norm Macdonald's a lot harder to like put in a box, really.
Yes.
I don't really know what his... Yeah, I don't really know what's going on.
Well, I've thought about it a lot.
Okay.
Right, and I've listened to a lot of people talking about him. And this is what I've accrued.
Okay.
Basically, everyone said that he was like the nicest guy in the world one-on-one. Like, he really cared about people. And the first time he was on Late Night with Conan O'Brien, Andy Richter's sister was in the audience, and she was in like the green room beforehand. And she said Norm Macdonald kind of met her and sat with her and talked to her for an hour, just asked her questions. And she said, and before then and since then, no one else in your business has done that. So yeah, basically everyone said he was just the loveliest guy in the world. He also had that glint in his eye that he was like in on some joke that you weren't quite privy to.
Yeah, he definitely has this air of mischief about him, doesn't he?
Well, that's the thing. His rosy, round cheeks and the glint in his eye and the little smile he always has. Yeah. He's like a big kid.
Yes.
That's just like out to cause a bit of havoc. Everyone said that he was basically indifferent to the crowd. Not that he didn't want them to have a good time, but he was kind of bomb-proof.
Right.
If he bombed, he actually relished it.
Okay.
So no gig could ever go badly.
That's a superpower, isn't it?
That's a comedian. Yeah, like... What else is there?
You are literally unstoppable if you can't be deterred by bombing.
Like Conan O'Brien said, he'd walk out, and Conan O'Brien, he said, like, my tell, said, obviously as a talk show host, I often have to affect laughter. But with Norm Macdonald, he said, I've always told people, if you want to see me really laugh, watch a Norm clip. He said, my tell is that I grab my stomach if I'm really laughing. And he said, when Norm Macdonald would walk out to do a set, he'd laugh before he started talking. He's got that energy, he's just a funny object. But yeah, it's a superpower, and like he said, he was always going to do what he wanted to do. It's like it didn't matter if the crowd laughed. He had stuff to say, and he was just going to say it regardless. That is a superpower. And I've listened to a lot of interviews with him, and because it's Norm Macdonald, it's hard to really know what's sincere and what's ironic. But from what I've gathered, he seemed to live a very lonely, almost ascetic lifestyle. Like he was married briefly, he had a kid, but then he lived on his own in like an apartment, not a massive house or anything. Never cooked, he ate at like a diners that was next to his house. And he didn't have stuff because he was a gambling addict for a long time.
Right.
And he said like the thing with being a gambling addict, it's not just winning, it's the thrill of losing everything.
Right.
Because when you hit zero, you have nothing to lose. So he never liked possessions because it's like they tie you down.
Like he had something to lose.
Right, it's like up in the air. It's just like travel light.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so he seemed to just live comedy. Like comedy was all there was. Like it's hard to think of him writing comedy because of how he delivers it.
Yeah, it's hard to think of it as written.
Yeah.
Like it's not even a case of like we've brought this up with Louis C.K. before. Like Louis C.K.'s style of storytelling through a joke, as it were. Like he'll add all of these like interesting little details. That really like paint that image for you.
Gatorade in the hearse.
Yeah, Gatorade in the hearse. Like, oh, okay, I can absolutely see it now.
Yeah.
But like even the way he delivers the joke, it's got this air of spontaneity about it. But those details kind of show you that, oh no, this was considered.
Right.
This was written. Whereas like Norm Macdonald, it does feel like purely off the cuff, like
really does.
Yeah,
because he's not even enunciating properly.
No,
He's just talking like that.
Yeah, he's not even delivering. He's just kind of speaking.
He's just speaking. He's just there speaking. I think he was like religious.
Okay,
I think that's a vibe I picked up. Like sincerely, like he genuinely thought. He was on this radio show and they said to him, like, basically, how often do you get laid? Like, you must get laid all the time. You're Norm Macdonald. He's like, no, I find it to be like, and again, it's hard to know whether he's being sincere, but he said it a few times, that I find sex filthy.
Right.
And they're like, are you a germaphobe? He's like, no, I think everyone who does it knows it's shameful.
Right.
They just kind of push through that. So I don't like it. I jerk off alone, and that's kind of, I'm happy with that. So he didn't sleep around, he didn't have girlfriends or anything like that. There's like a weird nobility to that. Do you know what I mean? Just like living your craft. That's all he was.
Yeah, I mean, on the face of it, that sounds quite sad. But the fact that he is Norm Macdonald, the fact that he wasn't rationalizing a lifestyle. It's not like, it's like, oh yeah, I can't get girls, but I'm happy with what I'm doing anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he was in a position where, had he wanted that, he could have had that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's kind of what makes, like, on reflection, it's like, oh, okay, that's kind of, it's not how I would like to live my life, but no, it's kind of...
Well, it's like the purity of Stuart Lee. I think the world needs people like that. They're just artists. And like, yeah, it's not something that I would want, but there is a kind of a purity to it of just, he lived and breathed comedy. That's all he cared about. He obviously took it very seriously, but never gave you that impression. He just gave you the impression he's a bloke that wandered onto a stage and was just doing his thing. I've been thinking about it a lot, because after he died, I did the requisite, I'll watch a few clips. And you can't just watch a few. If you watch a few, you're in it for like, say goodbye to 4 hours of your life or whatever. And so I've just been watching everything and like constructing this timeline and this impression of him. And to me, he's kind of like the Joker. right? Like, minus the violence and the anarchy. But like...
Oh, no, there's a bit of anarchy to him.
But yeah, sure, okay. But, not devastatingly violent anarchy.
No.
Like, he's an avatar of something. Like, to me, Norm Macdonald was the spirit of comedy in loads of different ways.
Right.
So the OJ jokes, someone says, in a suit, the biggest boss there is says, shut the fuck up, and he just doubles down. That's the comedy spirit.
Yeah.
Coming back to SNL and just shitting over it after they sacked him. That's the comedy spirit.
Yeah.
And like, even the secrecy of his illness, like, nobody knew he had cancer.
No.
And like, I think his brother said after his death, he didn't want it to affect how he was perceived. And when you look back on it, sometimes, when someone's died from an illness you didn't know about, you look back at clips of them when they were going through it and you're, I can maybe see it. With him, you can't at all in anything. He's just doing his thing. That is the spirit of comedy. He wasn't... I think he said on a talk show, actually. Maybe, or was it somebody else? He said, like, I'm here to entertain you. You don't have to hear my bullshit. I think he might have been on Jimmy Kimmel. And he's saying, like, you can talk about whatever you want to, but I don't want to be, like, personal with my audience. I don't want them to take on my shit. I'm there to make them happy. That's my, in a way, like, the cross I bear. So I love that. That's the spirit of comedy. Obviously, he had, like, an outsider vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Totally unpredictable.
Again, kind of like a jokery sort of thing. Is like, where did Norm Macdonald come from?
Exactly.
How long's he been here? What's he want? Like,
who is he? An iconoclast, like someone genuinely untouched by any of the norms of the age. So like, he really just spoke his mind. Like, obviously he was anti-cancel culture and the wokeness, and he made any joke he wanted at the expense of that, with that glint in his eye.
Yeah.
When every comedian in the world was on Conan O'Brien's side in the Jay Leno thing, again, hard to know if he was sincere because his norm, but he was on a show and he said, like, is it really a big deal? Who cares? It's like, because it's not actually the Tonight Show, it's on at midnight. Like, it's a fucking good job. Like, why do you...
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's a perspective, like, he wasn't just jumping on the bandwagon of, the comedians have to support Conan O'Brien. And I respect that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to me, he embodied comedy.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we lost... Definitely one of the greatest comedians of all time.
Right.
I would say.
No disrespect to Sean Locke, because I'm worried now that it sounds like we got Sean Locke out of the way so we could talk about Norm Macdonald.
I will concede after Sean Locke died. Like, I've seen every episode of 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown.
Right.
I don't know how many people can honestly say that. It's fucking hundreds of them.
Yeah.
But I've seen all Sean Locke is ubiquitous to me. I guess it's because Norm Macdonald has been a discovery.
Right.
After he's died, I've kind of really discovered his thing. Sean Locke, I'd seen was it 5 stories up? It wasn't 9 stories. I can't remember the name of it now. 12 stories up. I can't remember.
Okay.
He had 12 stories high. He had a sitcom in the early noughties.
Right.
That influenced a lot of other comedies. I saw that. I've seen basically every appearance of his on panel shows. I really knew Sean Locke. So yeah, no diss. I'm not dissing him.
No.
But yeah, Norm Macdonald has been a real find since his death. Not to be the guy that wears Nirvana t-shirt without ever having heard the band.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, not at all. No disrespect. But it's kind of like that Farrah Fawcett died the same day as Michael Jackson.
Right.
She was one of the Charlie's Angels in the 70s, and it's that story just got buried. And literally, I think her family were on Larry King. I actually heard this from Norm Macdonald on a talk show.
Oh, right. Okay. Tie it all together.
I know. Her family were on a talk show. When they found out about Michael Jackson, they were like, "Yo, you're going to have to come back. We can't have you on now." And they just fucked the family off.
Sod off.
Yeah. Steve Merchant said, like, when he gets on an aeroplane, he's always praying there's not a bigger celebrity because he's just going to get, if it crashes, he's going to get buried in the obit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, absolutely no disrespect to Sean Locke.
No.
But what are your favourite Norm Macdonald bits?
Oh, God.
Well, that interview that we watched yesterday.
Yeah, that interview is just like, he is...
What is that? It's just mental.
No control. No. He has no control over him.
No. He's trying to ask him questions, and he's just riffing. It's just total... Yeah, he says, like... One of my favourite lines of his, he's talking about trans serial killers. There's only ever been 2. So I'm torn. I love the transgender bit.
Yeah.
But what I don't like are psychosexual sadists who slay people. He just had a way of saying things that weren't even jokes and making them funny.
Yeah.
Like the Vegas joke. Which is like, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. He said, it's not like you can kill... I mean, the hacky bit of that is, it's not like you can kill somebody and just leave Vegas. But he says, but I already sat down and thought about what that meant. And it means you can have sex with a prostitute and she will not tell your wife. That's not a joke.
No.
But it's really funny. Just the way he says it.
Yeah.
It's so matter of fact.
There is something about, like, I think we saw a Conan interview. You showed me a Conan interview.
Yeah.
That he did, where he's telling a joke. One of his, like...
Convoluted jokes.
Yeah, it's like 40-minute jokes.
Yeah. That, if you're talking about the SeaWorld joke, Jacques de Gatineau.
Yes, it is, yeah.
That, to me, is the essence of his comedy. Like, it can be diluted to...
To that.
Condensed to that, yeah. That kind of sums it up. Yeah,
but there's a moment in there where he misremembers the name that he's created for this character.
Yes, he calls him like Jacques de Gautier.
Jacques de Gautier instead of Jacques de Gatineau.
Yeah.
And Conan's like, "Whoa, you've changed the guy's name."
Yeah.
And then like Norm, there's a moment where it's like everyone kind of realizes he's been caught.
And he kind of laughs, like knowing he's been had. So,
and then he just goes, "Yeah, well, you know, men grow.
A man grows. Yeah.
A man grows." So that's what.
And he just had
he's delivered it as though he's delivering a justification, but it's nonsense. It doesn't mean anything.
Nothing. Yeah, like our names change when we get older.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it just nothing, and we just roll with it.
Yeah,
like he was never compromised. I think that's and like he just had this vibe of like an old Civil War, like he was an old timey like Mark Twain, like by God I says. You know, it's weird deliveries.
Yeah. And by golly, by gosh, he was there. Jacques Gatineau was at the SeaWorld.
I tells you, by God, I says to him. Yeah. Like he's Foghorn Leghorn. And in that thing, so if... Go on YouTube and just Google Norm Macdonald convoluted joke.
Yeah.
And it's just a completely red herring. That it ends with a pun. And Andy Richter says, it's like... someone said, I got to show you something, and takes you on a 4-mile hike and shows you a dog turd. And it's a sign that Norm Macdonald, he's a stand-up on a talk show. He's there to be the funny guy. And when Andy Richter says that, he just falls off his chair laughing.
Yeah.
Like the generosity of that, like kind of struck me as well, you know? Like we can all be funny. It doesn't just have to be me.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, the Vegas joke, the moth joke, similar to the convoluted joke, just ends with the crappiest dad joke in the world. The interview with Josh Zepp for the transgender stuff. There's so much. Oh, the interview with Courtney Thorne-Smith, where she's doing the movie with Carrot Top. And he says, I know a good name for a Carrot Top movie. Box Office Poison.
Oh, yeah.
He was so, he's brilliant.
Yeah, it's called Chairman of the Board. Do you spell board B-O-R-E-D?
Yeah, because he challenges him, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's taking the piss out of the whole interview, and then, what's it called? Chairman of the Board. He goes, I'll do something with that, you freak.
Yeah.
And he just comes back with that instantly. the wit of it. And just his own talk show, where he's meant to be the guy that's controlling everything. And the guests never know when he's fucking with them.
Yeah.
Like the Stephen Merchant one, because I do think Stephen Merchant, who also I've obviously seen a lot of, he can be touchy when he thinks he's being dissed.
Right.
He doesn't always roll with ironies. And you can see, like, there are points where he seems genuinely annoyed. Like, he asks Norm Macdonald a question about his stand-up. He says, this is a sincere question. I'm not messing around. Like, what's your process? And he kind of starts by answering and then just kind of takes it off in a Norm Macdonald direction. And you can see Steve Merchant's face do like okay, fine, fuck you then. And so I love that. I love uncomfortable comedy. And it's just, brilliant. R.I.P. Norm Macdonald.
R.I.P. Norm Macdonald.
Yeah. Well, that's the sad stuff.
That's the sad stuff. Oh, yeah. It's all butterflies and rainbows from here on out.
I don't like butterflies.
Do you not like them? Do you like rainbows?
No, not really.
No?
No, because I know they say if you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain.
Yeah.
But rainbow means there's been rain. I don't like rain.
No. Do you not like sitting, like, with the doors open on, like, a very rainy day? So it's like you're inside and you're untouched by the rain.
Well, I don't really...
But you're looking out into torrential rain.
So you're thinking about your patio doors, aren't you?
Well, that's the... Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that.
No.
You see.
Oh, you could just look out of a window.
Yeah, but it's not like the doors open because I don't have the soundtrack to accompany it. You know?
Okay. Well, your back door?
It's
I know it's not quite
little...
as romantic as like a double patio doors. Yeah.
Looking into cat shit with a fucking neighbour cat is fucking shit in my fucking garden.
Yeah, your little concrete box of a garden.
Yeah, exactly. That needs to get weeded, actually. Right, should we move on? You saw a film.
Did I see a film?
You saw a film that I didn't.
Oh, yes, I did do that.
Yeah.
I saw Worth.
Was it worth it?
Oh, is that... Oh, okay.
Yeah, come on now.
All right.
Come on now.
I'm not allowed to do the puns, but it sounds...
Every critic's has to have made that pun.
Was it worth it?
Ultimately, was it worth it?
Yeah. Worth. Yeah. Well, it's got the Worth title.
It's got the... Oh, come on now. That's worse than what I... That's worse than what I did.
Yeah.
What's it about, George?
What's it about? It's a 9/11 film.
Oh, dear.
What about that 9/11 and such?
Right. Big.
Big?
Big thing.
Big thing.
Big event.
Big event.
Yeah.
Big 9/11.
Big boom.
Yeah. Big boom. Two big booms.
Two big... Well,
Three?
Four.
Four big booms.
Yeah. Well, it depends.
Yeah.
We've got to the nitty-gritty of the sonic... the sonic repercussions of 9/11. Yeah. Episode
title, absolutely, yeah.
The nitty-gritty of the sonic repercussions of 9/11.
Maybe not the whole...
No, maybe not the whole... But obviously you've got the explosions themselves, but then you also have, like, Tower 7 collapsing and stuff.
Yes.
So do they count as booms?
Well, Tower 7 wasn't boomed.
It wasn't boomed, but
collateral.
it did collapse.
Yeah, but it was collateral.
But it would have made a noise, I would have thought.
I'm thinking more about impacts.
Okay.
Plane impacts. So you got...
Plane impacts, then, yeah, you got four booms.
Yeah, you got the two towers, you got the Pentagon, and you got the field.
The field, yeah. Don't laugh.
No, I shouldn't have laughed, should I? It's not funny. It's
not.
Really not funny. It's really not.
And yeah, you laugh.
No, I'm laughing because, like, that's horrible.
Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
Shanksville?
Shanksville. Yeah.
Shanksville, Pennsylvania.
That's where it crashed, Flight 93.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say a thing. I'm not gonna be funny about it.
Good. It's not funny.
No, it's not. It's really, really not.
To quote Norm Macdonald, it's horrible tragedy.
Stop laughing. It's not funny.
That's Jerry Seinfeld.
That is, yeah. It's not funny.
It's not funny. 9/11 is not funny.
No. Worth is not funny.
Is it meant to be funny?
No, it's not meant to be funny.
It's not a 9/11 comedy then.
No, it's not a 9/11 comedy.
Too soon?
Maybe.
I don't know why I'm obviously not making jokes about 9/11. I suppose I'm making jokes about 9/11.
Yeah.
But still, I think I'm giving a false impression of myself. Because I'm not that guy.
Oh no, I don't remember what episode it was, but there's a whole segment in one of our older episodes about your ritual indulgence in 9/11 every year.
Yes.
Again, not as like a fucking let's watch it.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a remembrance, I suppose. More.
Yeah. Just kind of like a remind. Like I'm gonna remind myself.
Yeah, and refresh my memory that happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, this is a film that came out on Netflix close to the 20th anniversary of 9/11.
Right.
And it was about 9/11. So I imagine a lot of people have already seen it.
If it's on Netflix, yeah.
If it's on Netflix, yeah. And it came out on the anniversary
Eat
of
the shit.
Yeah. Here's the...
With a shovel.
Yeah, here's the thing. But, like, I saw a trailer for it and was kind of instantly grabbed by it. Not necessarily the film. There was two things, basically, that I was like, ooh, okay. We all know the story of 9/11.
We should do, yeah.
We should all know the story of 9/11. We know the day of 9/11. I think we're pretty up to speed on, like...
It's on the tin.
Yeah, it's on the tin. We know what happened. Yeah. We know, like, what the firefighters did. We know what the president did. We know what the people in New York did.
Yeah.
Like, as it was happening.
One would hope. I honestly can't make those assumptions anymore.
No.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
There was, like, a documentary series on National Geographic basically lying out the timeline of 9/11 for you. From, like... So this episode is about...
Laying it out, yeah?
Lying out? Laying out. Yes, yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's not like, and the Jews on this day... It's like a biblical thing, isn't it? And on this day the Jews rested. Or... Saturday.
Yes, Saturday.
Shabbat.
Saturday. Shabbat.
Yeah, that's the Sabbath.
What's that?
Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their Sabbath is on Saturday.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes. Because of Spider-Man.
Because of the Big Lebowski.
Because of the Big Lebowski.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Well, Walter in Big Lebowski mentions like he doesn't roll on Shabbat or whatever, or Shabbos, he says.
Right. Okay.
What Spider-Man?
Yes, I suppose that should have. Yeah, I forgot about that.
What's Spider-Man got to do with it?
Well, there's like an Easter egg
because it's a Jewish name.
Well, Spider-Man.
Yeah. Mort Spider-Man.
Mort Spider-Man. Spider-Man and Sons.
Oh, I don't know. I don't like heights. I get anxious about heights.
Green Goblin.
Green Goblin?
Green Goblin.
Yeah, Green Golem.
Green Golem.
It's a Green Golem.
No, like the 2018 video game, I think, from Insomniac. There's like an Easter egg in there that like took people ages to find. Basically, these two Jewish NPCs who like sit on a bench,
right? And
they're not there on Saturdays because it's the Sabbath.
Oh, okay, that's quite cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's why. That's how Spider-Man fits into the whole
thing.
So
they're all Orthodox Jews then?
Yeah.
They're wearing yarmulkes.
Yeah, they got the curls and everything.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, right. Right, I see. Okay. Proper Orthodox.
Proper Jews. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, 9/11.
Ultra Orthodox.
Ultra-Orthodox.
Yeah. Are they dressed all in black?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Ultra Orthodox.
Proper.
Yeah.
Proper
Jews.
Orthodox.
Proper Jews.
Anyway, yes, 9/11. Yeah, so we know the story of 9/11. Yeah. Documentary. There's a documentary series. I think it was National Geographic, one of those. They did like a recent one where it's like, yeah, this episode is about the miracle of Stairway B. So like the people who were trapped in Stairway B as the tower collapsed. This episode is about like the survivors of the people who were actually in the tower. This episode is about George Bush and like the fact that he was like, no, we're going back to Washington.
Yes.
And everyone around him was like, you can't, Mr. President. We need to keep you on the move. And so like it's a fairly recent thing. I don't know how many people saw that, but
it's a proper. Obviously, it's a retrospective, but as in, it's not just yet another 9/11 documentary, right? Like they talk to George Bush and everything.
Yeah, he's in it.
It's a BBC show, right?
No.
National Geographic.
Yeah, National Geographic,
right, okay.
Well, because he's in it. And I said to you, like, it shouldn't have surprised me that George Bush has aged in the 20 years since 9/11, but...
Yeah, we haven't really seen him in 20 years.
I went to I think it was 2016, actually. I went to New York. And obviously by now they've got the... is it called the One World?
Yeah.
Yeah, One World Trade Center's been built. We went to the top of One World, and obviously we went to Ground Zero. And they've got a 9/11 museum on Ground Zero, or like in that area, basically. And there's like a video playing of like, just like a short presentation about like, this is 9/11. And he's in that.
Yeah.
And he looked pretty much the same as how I remembered him. So I don't know if it was filmed like around the time or like sort of during the time of his presidency, or whether he's just aged a lot in 4 years. But he looks a lot older now than how I remember him being.
Yeah, the last time I saw him really was that he's in that news clip, isn't he? Where it's like a baseball game and he just pops up in the background and goes, hey, to the camera.
Oh, yeah.
And you kind of blink and you'll miss it sort of thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, 9/11 documentary series.
Yeah.
If there's one subject on which to riff, it's 9/11.
Yeah. People know the story.
Yes, people know the story.
And there's no shortage of material to tell you the story.
Out there.
Yes. People know the 9/11 the day of.
Yes.
They know about the war that happened after 9/11.
Yes.
They know about like the many people from all corners of the events, like how they feel living in the shadow of 9/11.
Right.
The first responders who are now like there's that John Stewart.
Yeah.
the like appeal that he makes to Congress about 9/11 first responders. They're getting like
lung cancer
disproportionately because of what happened. And they just leave it. They're being left out.
Yes, it's a very impassioned speech.
Oh, it's great.
Always brings a tear. It's one of like the 20 things that reliably will bring a tear to my eye.
Yeah. His proper like this room of like there's basically none of you are here, and here are all the first responders, and none of you are here,
and you are ignoring them.
Your side of the room should be full, and you should be applauding them.
Yeah.
And you're like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, John Stewart.
Yeah, it's angry crying, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's got it, you know.
Yeah. So we know about that kind of stuff, but we don't, like, there doesn't seem to be much, and this could be me showing my ignorance, I don't know, but there didn't seem to be much about, like, the practical recovery of 9/11, the practicalities of the recovery.
The cleanup.
Yeah.
Not since the event, no.
No, like obviously there's that footage of George Bush like a couple of days after on Ground Zero. He's, you know that I hear you, the world hears you, and the people who knock down these buildings will hear from us soon.
Yeah, where he has the little smile where he's like, I nailed that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't help himself.
No.
I would as well, to be fair.
Oh, yeah.
Like, someone gives you that.
Well, it was a proper turnaround for the crowd, wasn't it?
Well, not just that, I think because it was clearly unrehearsed. And because he rolled with it successfully, I think that's what he was proud with. He's like, oh, I can... There's a window here. I can, you know. Yeah,
defining. That goes in like the sizzle reel of his presidency.
It's in the Wikipedia article of 9/11.
Yeah.
You can just watch the video on the Wikipedia page.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. But yeah, you don't hear much about like how New York and America kind of went about rebuilding, I suppose.
Yeah, again, I suppose since the event. At the time, it would have been 24-hour coverage, wouldn't it? Like,
yeah. That's
how 24-hour news started, basically, was 9/11.
Yes.
It exists for 9/11. But yes, no, I know what you mean. Like, we don't really know about the cleanup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the fact that this is not...
Sorry, I was just thinking, like, we don't really know much about slavery. We know that it was abolished. And then what?
Yeah.
Like, we don't really know much about post-bellum.
Yeah.
You know, it's like...
Yeah, did they, like... Were there police going around being like, you, stop slaving?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like, were they given...
There's a good film to be made of that. I'm sure there are, like, the ins and outs. Obviously, slavery, we've seen films about the effects of it, and, you know, obviously black people still oppressed, and Jim Crow laws and all that. But, yeah, like, I haven't seen one where, like, right, slavery's just been abolished.
Yeah.
Now we have to start, like, what was the Reconstruction, I think it was called, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I haven't seen a good film or TV show about that.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Like, do we... give them property? Do we give them finances to sort of help them back on their feet? Do we just let them be?
Yeah.
What do we do? You know, we can't just let them... It's like, oh, you're just citizens now because they don't have the infrastructure to live.
Yes.
Yeah, so this was kind of like that, where it was like, oh, okay, yeah. People had to rebuild after 9/11. The government had to recover. The families had to sort of recover as well. So a film that's sort of like dealing with that felt like a fresh perspective of like a very chronicled event.
Well, it's a cliche, but 9/11 changed everything.
Absolutely.
Everything. Yeah. How the world is organised. Absolutely everything.
Yeah. And so to just tell a small part of that recovery, it's like, oh, okay.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
I'm like grabbed by that.
Yeah.
And the other thing as well is like the protagonist of this film is played by Michael Keaton.
Yes.
And basically he's a lawyer who, I think the basic premise is that after 9/11 happened, there was obviously conversations about like, right, how are the families going to respond to this? Are they going to want compensation? Are they going to sue the airlines? If they sue the airlines, we run the risk of like, because of the amount of money we're having to pour into the cleanup, and we're going to be going to war. A lawsuit against the airlines from 7,000, however many families there are.
Yeah,
it's going to tank the economy. So we need to step in and put in some infrastructure to like sort this out. And Michael Keaton basically like volunteered to lead this group that would kind of dispense compensation to the families with the sort of understanding that like we're not paying you off, but like by giving you this money, you don't need to sue the airlines. This is your kind of apology from America.
Right. Reparations almost.
Kind of, yeah.
And damages.
Damages, exactly. And like the character himself, the journey that he kind of goes on in the film is what like he is coming at it from the perspective of he's a lawyer and these are claimants.
Right.
And they are statistics and numbers on a spreadsheet and we have like a specific way that we have to go about things. We have to operate within the confines of the law. But it's a very emotionally charged time.
Is he some ice that needs to be thawed?
There's some ice that needs to be thawed, yeah. people don't appreciate the fact that they're being seen as numbers on a spreadsheet. Michael Keaton's like, but the law, you know?
Yes, but with the Boston accent, right?
Yeah, but the law.
The law.
Law. Yeah, so that was interesting as well, that like they were deliberately doing a film about such an emotionally charged event where the protagonist, both by design and by necessity, was cold and distant.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, how are they going to handle that? Not just that, like, you know, we all side with the families of 9/11. There is not a human being alive on this side of the world anyway.
Right. Well, unfortunately, I think there are.
Well, there shouldn't be.
There shouldn't be.
A human being alive.
Any good person.
That looks at a bereaved person, like, who lost someone during 9/11 and is not like, oh, I feel for you.
We're looking at you, Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Well, there is, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know.
Fuck him.
Yeah. Yeah. He gets to write Superman.
I know.
And Captain America.
Yeah. He gets to define the American image of like superheroism.
And then like, oh yeah, what is your opinion of 9/11? And he's like,
I'm so right. I'll be fair to the bloke. I know that he wrote in his autobiography that he watched the towers burn, feeling nothing because of the historic injustice.
Yeah.
Let's not say that he was like cool with it or he doesn't care about the family. Only because like I don't want to straw man him.
No.
And B, libel.
Oh yeah, that as well.
So,
yeah,
like let's just we know that you wrote that.
Yes,
but
and that is an assumption on our part. We are making assumptions about him, but those assumptions are based on the fact that in his autobiography he said he didn't care
and he hates America. He clearly hates America. Just a brief tangent. I'm sure we will return to. I'm sick of American like institutions now being put through the lens of like Superman being black and like. Oh, it's a modern American story. That whenever you hear shit like that,
I guess again, to be fair, we haven't seen his interpretation of Superman play out yet.
No,
we can make assumptions about it.
We can.
We feel confident in those assumptions, but we don't know that that's the angle he's taking.
No.
We just have to wait.
How can Superman guard Americans when Americans don't care about black people?
Yeah. You trying to save America, Superman.
How can I care about you, motherfucker, when you don't care about me? It's a blaxploitation film.
That's a mess. Anyway. So yeah, those two reasons. Like it's an angle to 9/11 that felt fresh and interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was laughing at my impression.
Oh right, okay.
My impression of a black Superman. Go on, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, it's an angle to 9/11. It's like, oh right, I didn't even consider that.
Yeah,
that's something worth hearing about. And yeah, it was a deliberately cold protagonist. Like this guy wasn't off to the side. He wasn't a villain. That, like, you know, the real like team had to sort of like he's the one stick in the mud that they have to deal with. Like he is, but he's also the lens through which you see the film.
He's like almost an anti-hero, isn't he? Well, no, he's kind of like a much more serious version of Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way.
Go on.
It's that character, isn't it? It's the character that needs to realise there are more important things in life than the job, or in this case, the clinical.
Yeah.
It's that character, the guy. You know, every fucking 80s family movie where the dad's always at work and needs to get home for Christmas. And it's that, but in a much more serious context.
Yes.
Yeah, a guy that needs to be thawed.
Yes, exactly. And that's why I watched it, despite the lukewarm reviews that it was getting, because you haven't seen it because of that, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if you... Because you seemed surprised when I was sort of telling you about it, so were you even aware of, like...
I knew... It was a film called Worth. I knew Michael Keaton was in it, and I knew it was 9/11 themed. But when you told me you watched it, it did strike me as odd. Yeah. It's arbitrary. Just out of all the things you don't watch.
Yes.
I just found it kind of, I don't know, like in a nice way. I just found it interesting that you watched something that was kind of a straight up drama, I suppose. There wasn't even a well-received one.
No, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I've outlined my reasons now. But it also feels like, I mean, this is not just because Michael Keaton is in it, but it was like a Spotlight type film.
Yes.
Spotlight.
Procedural.
If you will.
About, Spotlight.
L-I-T-E.
L-I-T-E. Yeah, procedural, true story that's kind of about people in rooms being professional.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So I already kind of knew like what I was in for. It's like, okay, like it's going to be a film like that, but about like this really, not that Spotlight is not about an interesting subject matter, but it's going to be like this really relevant, really interesting subject. Yes. It can't go wrong. Mm-hmm. Can it?
Sure it can. In multiple ways. Well, I don't know when United 93 was released. Right?
No.
I know the filmmakers don't have much control over when the studios choose to release their films. But the fact that it's released around 9/11, already it has a cynicism to it. Do you know what I mean?
A major anniversary as well.
A major anniversary. I know it's like, I'm not accusing them of it, because I understand the impulse. Like, it's a 9/11 film where you release it around 9/11.
Yeah.
But when you think about what does that mean? It's like you're striking while the iron is hot, and it's fresh. It's in people's memories again. We're going to release a film that will nicely go with that.
Yeah,
it's just a bit icky, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not comfortable with it fully.
Yeah, and like we have a natural, like our relationship with Netflix is one where it's like, oh god, it's on Netflix. Everyone will watch it.
Yeah,
you just the very fact that it's on Netflix should not say anything about the quality of the.
No, it shouldn't be to its detriment.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, but I was going to say, like, just like when a thing goes up on Netflix, we usually roll our eyes. It's like, oh, everyone's going to watch it. Everyone's think it's good. Yeah. That as well, like the fact that it was like 9/11 film on Netflix around the time of 9/11. It's like, right, well, it's already succeeded, you know.
It was almost certainly spotlit as well, right? Like it would have turned up on the homepage when you logged in.
I'm sure
definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, before we go on with the review, I'll just like my caveat. Other than I haven't seen it, so I'm not actually reviewing the film. 9/11 is like my Shoah. And Shoah, not the actual Holocaust. That's what Jews call Holocaust.
Right.
Shoah is a film about the Holocaust, like a 9-hour documentary made in like the 80s. And the guy who directed it saw Schindler's List and basically was one of like the only people in the world to hate it and said, I thought after the deep dive I did, it wasn't possible to do another film about the Holocaust because nothing can do it justice, especially not like a 2 or 3 hour film, whatever. Didn't like it. And to me, 9/11, I have that sensitivity about it. I don't know why. I wasn't personally affected. You know what I mean? Like, didn't have a personal connection to the thing. I'm obviously affected by it. I guess just because it's like, it's not even burned in my memory from back then. Like, I kind of remember seeing the images on the news.
That's the thing. I have no memory of 9/11.
Okay.
None whatsoever. I don't remember what I was doing on the day.
No.
I don't remember seeing it happening on the news.
No. All I remember from around the time is like the house I was born in, it was evening and the image of it on fire was on the news.
Right.
It all happened by that point. It was like, after coverage. That's all I remember. I don't remember thinking, I was 6.
Yeah.
I didn't think anything about it.
No.
I guess you grow up in that context then though, don't you? Of like, it was a major horrible thing that happened. People are talking about it all the time. Films are coming out about it. Like, all of pop culture, from Jon Stewart to South Park, is dealing with it constantly. And I was like, I loved reading books when I was a kid. And then the kind of bridge to adult fiction was kind of thrillers. So like Tom Clancy books.
Right.
And books about terrorism. And every book written after 9/11 was a post-9/11 thriller.
Yeah.
So I grew up reading those. So I had that kind of personal, almost like American oomph of like, we need to get the fuckers that did it sort of thing. And then, of course, you go through the phase of like, oh, Islam's a peaceful religion. And then you come back and you go, nah, not so much. But no, so for whatever reason that I can't quite put my finger on, 9/11, I'm very sensitive about it. And people making jokes casually about it, or bad jokes, or, and it's not like I require absolute accuracy with any film about 9/11. I'm not like a fact Nazi. It's just, I don't like the idea that it's being used for anything. United 93 is an amazing, brilliant film.
Yeah.
The veracity of it, the fact the families were involved behind the scenes. The films like Reign Over Me, which we were talking about the other day, it's that Adam Sandler film where Don Cheadle bumps into him and he's like homeless. And then you find out he lost his family in 9/11. And then Remember Me, which is that romantic film that just ends with, oh, it turns out he worked in the World Trade Center and he got killed on 9/11. It's like, that's just a cheap joke. Like, what is that? Even World Trade Center, which is mawkish and sentimental, and there's a lot of emotion to Ring, out of 9/11, obviously, but being in any way sentimental about it United 93, for the fucking horrible feeling you have at the end of that film, there's no sentimentality. It just shows you what happened.
Yeah.
Matter-of-factly. And like the biggest liberty it takes is it puts a bit of music into it. But that's it.
Yeah.
Everything, it's a documentary otherwise, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, anything that's like just, I don't know, anything that seems to be like taking advantage of it in any way, I don't like.
No.
So with that said,
yeah, and I don't know. I wouldn't say that this film is taking advantage of 9/11, because that's the other thing as well, right? 9/11, as of like this month, 9/11 was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
there is a generation of parents that are younger than 9/11.
Right.
So it's like we have a lot of distance from it now. It's not. It's not like with United 93. That's a wonderful, like when you hear the story about how the families were involved, and the initial screening was just for the families, and there was a lot of.
Like that he wouldn't do it. Paul Greengrass wouldn't do it unless they were okay.
Yeah, unless he had their blessing, and just like the fact that he didn't forget about the family during all of that.
Yeah, like behind the scenes, it's all the actors going to meet. The families of the people, you know.
Yeah, I mean that was made a lot closer to 9/11. So
5 years after.
I've got absolutely no intention of like undercutting just the consideration that he paid towards those families, but it probably felt like something that you should do, right? If you're making a big film about 9/11, you should get the families involved. But it's been 20 years now. Yeah,
that was my question to you, wasn't it? It's like,
is there any like,
do we feel the need now? It's like if I made a film about the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Well, okay, maybe not me, because I think I'd have to, but I can understand why people might reason. I don't have to go and talk to survivors or their descendants. Like, it's history. I can.
Yeah, it belongs to the annals of history now. I don't need to ask permission from anyone because it doesn't belong to anyone anymore. It belongs to the history books.
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know if we're there yet with 9/11. I don't know if 9/11 belongs to history or if it still belongs to.
No, it belongs in it. As you know, that might sound trite, but you know what I mean. Like. It's going to be remembered for all time. Like it has its place in history.
If it's not in,
but it's not been confined to it yet.
Yeah, if it's not in the school curriculum yet, it will be.
Yes, I mean, you know, like the people that lost their loved ones 20 years older, they're not dead. It's not like Holocaust survivors where there's not that many left. Like we still have a generation or two.
Yes.
Before,
exactly.
It's going to be a while yet.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, the Holocaust. Sure, you can see. They're not equivalent. I'm not trying to draw, but you know, like you can see pictures, sure, but obviously there's not that much material.
You would sort of have to rely on accounts from people.
I can watch 9/11 whenever I want.
Yeah,
I just have to YouTube it, and I can watch the planes going into the towers.
Yeah,
so that kind of cements it.
And not only that, but you don't have like pictures. Kind of tell a story. But it's not like with the Holocaust. You're sort of getting a single perspective. Of the Holocaust, whether you're looking at pictures or hearing accounts, you're always kind of getting the same picture, I suppose.
Well, yes, I know what you're saying.
Whereas with 9/11, because it was so ubiquitous, you have all of these different perspectives that you can see it from. Whether it's like the Howard Stern show, and it's their opinions of like, you know, they're talking about it in real time, and they're like, oh, we got to catch the people who did this. We're under attack.
What I find, brief tangent, most fascinating about that is that they knew. Because obviously you've got to try and think of the milieu before 9/11. What were people thinking about? And they all seem to say, we knew this was coming. Like, because Bin Laden had attacked America, not America itself, but a few times. Like, he bombed the USS Cole and the embassy in Kenya, I think.
Yeah.
And I think jihadism was generally understood as like a growing trend. But yeah, all the people are calling in, and I'm just using their language. Obviously, the angry New Yorkers watching it happen, saying, it's these fucking towel heads. We need to go fucking bomb these towel heads.
Yeah. So
they all seem to kind of know. He said, like, I can't say on this show who did it, but we know who did it. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting to consider that it wasn't a complete bolt out of the blue.
No.
There was a context, obviously, going into it.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so... Go on. So you can see it from that perspective, or...
Yeah, like all different media outlets that have their own perspective of, like, their own understanding of what's happening.
Yeah.
You've got Fox News, you've got CNN, you've got, like, you know, people on the left, people on the right, people down the middle, the general public, the president,
Yeah.
everyone.
The Jon Stewarts. The Jon has to go on the next day.
Exactly, yeah. Like, you have so many different sources, but also so many different interpretations. Mm-hmm. Whereas with the Holocaust, it's like, it's this kind of like, it's the memory of the Holocaust that you're being told about. Yeah, it's just the utter, like, atrocity and tragedy of it. And obviously, I'm sure there are thousands and thousands of accounts that give a different perspective on it, but you have to go and seek them out. You have to go read the books on the Holocaust. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, these tangents that we're sort of going on about 9/11, I am going to review the film a little bit.
Yes.
I wasn't going to, like, go into the nitty-gritty of it too much, because obviously it's something you haven't seen. Mm-hmm. And it's not something that I would recommend to go see.
Spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler. Yeah. So, I didn't want to be like, oh, let's talk about this thing, and you kind of have nothing to say about that.
No.
It was more kind of like, I was kind of anticipating we'd talk more around the film.
Well, I mean, had we recorded, had there not been such a gap, I probably would have wanted to talk about 9/11 anyway. I mean, not that I can offer anything new on it, but it would have felt weird not to, because I spend so much time around that part of the year.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, I'm happy with the tangents. I think it's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I mean, what can I really say about it? It's, like I said, it's a spotlight film. Which
You're proud of that, aren't you?
No, I thought that was something you said. I didn't think that I was inventing something here.
I mean, I'm happy to take credit for whatever you want to give me credit for, but I don't think I did.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
All right. Oh, cool.
Maybe I did. I don't know. Who knows?
Okay. No, sometimes don't cast out on it.
Sometimes it's hard to keep track, you know?
Of my brilliance.
It's that, I'm thinking of that Chandler moment in Friends, 2:15, coffee house. Writing down every joke he ever makes.
Yeah. But Spotlight in turn is sort of like... you could kind of draw a connection between Aaron Sorkin's stuff as well, where he is also like... Well, he is the MVP of... people in rooms talking.
Procedural, true story. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And Worth lacks both the energy and the drive of any Aaron Sorkin project, and of Spotlight as well.
Okay.
Because, like, films like that, they're not, like, visual powerhouses, right?
No.
West Wing kind of invented its own little visual language.
Yes.
The, like, following people, like, looking at people down corridors.
Yeah.
Other than that, Aaron Sorkin films...
The Walk and Talk, I think it's now.
Yeah, The Walk and Talk.
Yeah.
Whereas with Aaron Sorkin films and kind of like Spotlight and that those kind of like procedurals as well, they're all just kind of filmed.
Yeah, with the exception of The Social Network, I would say, which is... It is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But yes, no, generally speaking, I would agree.
Yes, they are just kind of filmed. They're not necessarily to their detriment.
No, this in a good way, stagey. They're staged and they're mounted and they're musical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Sorkin in particular. Yeah. I mean, we've had that conversation before, haven't we? About his dialogue. It's like music.
Yeah.
By design. Mm-hmm. That's how he hears dialogue, and so he tries to put that into all of his work. Yeah. But like those films, they have like an energy to them and they have a drive to them. I think to counteract the fact that they're dense with information and they're in like inherently unappealing forums, like people sitting at a table is not an inherently interesting thing to look at.
No.
You kind of have to make it so.
Sure.
Like, you can't just have a scene where it's like two people, like Mindhunter.
Yeah.
People talking at a table is like, they're the highlights of Mindhunter.
Yes.
But again, like, that's David Fincher. He has his own like striking style. But like, Worth is just like...
Is a televisual. Well, what that word used to mean, anyway.
It looks like how sitting in a waiting room feels.
Okay. I know what you mean.
It's just like nothing.
Yeah.
It's so nothing. We need to have a conversation, I think, with cinematographers, you and I.
Yes.
And people in general. Like,
you don't just roll a camera.
No.
Like, you need to do a bit more than that.
You don't just roll a camera. And there's like a couple of shots as well where Michael Keaton's like on a beach looking out at the ocean. Mm-hmm. It's like, no, you don't need that.
Right.
That's not like, if they feel, I don't know if that is what they are, but they do kind of feel like the film's taking a bit of a breath. It's like, oh, we're going to like reminisce on everything that's happened while something like pretty is happening because you've been in the mire of like skyscrapers and offices and all that. It's like, no, that's...
Well, it's screenwriting advice 101, unfortunately. It's... if you need to have characters having a conversation, set it somewhere cinematic. And people don't know that you can make offices cinematic.
Yeah.
It's hard, but
It is hard.
But when you can pull it off, again, The Social Network.
Yes, exactly, yeah.
What's the most cinematic, quote-unquote, location in The Social Network? The boat race, maybe.
Yeah, which has got nothing. It's not really...
Yeah, it's just there.
Yeah, you don't need that.
No.
Yeah, the most visually striking part of the film is like, yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, it's so boring to look at. It took me 3 attempts to watch it.
Right, okay.
It really did, because it's so...
Did you start again, or did you watch it in chunks?
Watched it in chunks.
Right, okay.
It just, it didn't hold my attention. Because it was so... It just didn't... Yeah, like I said, it lacked the drive and the energy of Spot. Like, even when it was having, like, those little montages where it's like, we're going to do a thing, and then it shows the people doing the thing as he's explaining the thing that they're going to do, and they're like, oh, she's in this location, and he's in that location, and there's, like, music to carry you along. Even those sequences felt kind of flaccid, I guess.
Well, the thing is with Spotlight, obviously the thing that's propelling you, it's a hunt for truth. It's an investigation. You are going towards something. And in the meantime, you're just impressed by how efficient the whole thing is. And with Sorkin films, it really is like music, and you're waiting for like the chorus and the music's building up, and the point is made. You know, like that's how he writes. You're hanging on every note. So yeah, like for a film like that, where's it going?
Yeah. And like with Spotlight as well, I'm using Spotlight because it's my main frame of reference.
Well, it's got Keaton and Tucci, right? Who's also
Stanley Tucci's also in this. He sort of represents the... Obviously, Michael Keaton is the character who's like, you know, I'm the lawyer who looks at you all like your statistics, but I don't understand why you're all so upset with me. And Stanley Tucci is like, we're all upset with you because you're not treating us like people.
Right.
And he's like, oh, but the numbers. And Stanley Tucci's like, no, not the numbers.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, but I don't know how to not look at the numbers. And he's like, well, you should.
Okay.
Who
talked like that? You remind me of a character when you're doing that.
Churchill?
No, it's not quite Churchill. Maybe it's Churchill. Yes. Oh, yes. Maybe it's that, yeah. Is that how Michael Keaton talks?
No. Okay. Yeah, it's a weird, like... He's kind of doing a Spotlight thing, but like more...
Thicker.
Okay. He's putting more into it. But yeah, like watching Spotlight, I don't know about you, and I don't know about the general opinion, but it's impressive like how much research the filmmakers have clearly done to capture like the amount of data that they were sifting through and how they how they made their discoveries and how the events unfolded. And I having watched Worth, had not looked it up, not read about it, but having watched the film, I couldn't tell you how much research they did.
Right, okay.
And I feel like that it kind of works against it.
Does he play a real guy?
Yeah, it's a real person.
It's a real guy.
It's a real person. That lawyer actually went, they said like at the end of the film, like, you know, after he had his change of heart, he goes on to like dispense compensation during Sandy Hook. And like basically like all of these like major American tragedies that have happened since 9/11, like school shootings and terrorist attacks, he's like most of them, he's been there to deliver compensation.
Right, okay.
So it's like he's found his niche now, you know?
What a weird thing.
I know, yeah.
Is that something to like, is that an admirable job? It's not a bad job.
No.
Like,
and it's one that he's like found the rhythm of it by the end of the film. So I guess like, well, if you can do it, then good on you.
I don't know, it just seems like weird, like someone has to do that job. And it's not like a soldier or a hero, it's just like a very bureaucratic.
Yeah.
I guess, he's really good at it because he learns how to be able to talk to people. But the job itself is just like administrative. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't have that power of like, and then he went on to work with orphans.
Yeah.
He just gives money to people. It's like,
yeah.
He's not working with a community or anything.
Yeah, Sandy Hook, Boston bombings.
Right.
All that. He was like, oh, here's some money from the government.
He's the facility, he's the middleman.
Yeah. I don't know. I was like watching him, like Michael Keaton, in the beginning, for most of the film, in fairness. And I was watching him kind of thinking, I don't really see... Like, yeah, he could have better people skills. But I don't see why everyone finds him so foul.
Right.
Because he's in the room and he's like, oh, we've developed this formula based on, like, financial value lost. So obviously the CFOs will get a significant amount of money given to them after the fact, and then dishwashers will get much less. I think there's a point in the film where he's like working it out using the formula, and a CFO would get a $4.2 million payout, but a dishwasher will get a 2,000 K payout.
Yes.
And that's the moment we're supposed to go, oh, that's terrible. Like, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. It is terrible.
No, I know. Like,
I know practically. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And usually, I feel like I'd be the guy saying, "It's just."
But that's the thing. I don't know if he's actually gone about it a bad way, and I'm willing to admit that the formula is flawed.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely feels like it was a first draft that they maybe should have reconsidered before they presented it to the grieving families.
Yes.
But I don't know. Like, is it just because knowing who the recipients are, it feels insensitive? But it's actually, like, when you take it in isolation, it's not as insensitive as it feels.
I suppose if you're going to do that, then you need a formula. And any formula is going to be cold.
Yeah.
I suppose it's you don't have those beginnings, so you don't have those endings. Like, it reminds me of that episode of The West Wing where the black guy's talking with Josh, and they're arguing over reparations.
Oh, yeah.
And then he says, "Oh, you have a problem," because Josh is Jewish. So you have a problem with the Germans, and he's like, "Yeah, you're damn right I do." And the conclusion they basically come to is no money in the world is enough to make up for the horrors of slavery. So how can you begin to quantify it?
Yeah.
And it's not really resolved, and it's because it's an unworkable issue. And they just leave like, I'll buy you coffee. You can get the next one. It's like, it boils down to individual one-on-one. Let's just cooperate. Let's be friends,
Yeah.
So when you start going, right, we need to work out how much money, how much value we're going to place on the lives of the people. It kind of is an unstartable game, because
it is.
Anything you say is going to be horrible.
And the fact that it was born out of we're doing this so that they don't sue the airlines and the American economy out of existence.
Covering their ass.
Yeah.
And again, if it's going to decimate the American economy, then something has to be done about that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to be practical at the same time. But I just think if I was a family member, at what point do I think, I'll sue the government, I think. Or the airlines, rather. I'm going to sue the airlines. I don't know. I'm not sure that thought would ever occur to me.
Well, there's a nice scene. It's probably my favourite scene in the film. I also have something else to say about the scene, which is sort of a criticism of the script as a whole.
Okay.
But we'll get to it, because I actually like the scene and the idea of the scene in isolation. I'll give the context. Basically, there's like a point in the film where the team that Michael Keaton is leading, they have to talk to all of the families one-on-one. I think the idea is that they're basically figuring out if they're eligible for compensation. But what ends up happening is it sort of becomes a forum for the families to discuss the people that they've lost.
Right.
So it's like, he was on the phone with me, but then he saw that there were people in the tower, so he ran back in, and that's the last I ever heard of him. Like those kind of conversations. But Michael Keaton is not part of those conversations. I don't quite know what he's off doing. But you've got all of his like team members hearing these stories. And it's like one in particular where there's this gay guy whose partner was killed in the Pentagon. But their plan was that they were going to move to, I think it was Virginia, and they were going to marry, but obviously that's not going to happen now. And because the state that they're currently, is it New Jersey that New York is in?
What do you mean now?
Like Manhattan, New York City?
That's in the state of New York.
Oh, in the state of New York.
But New Jersey is just across the bridge.
Right, okay. Yeah, because I flew into New Jersey when we went to New York.
Yeah. I mean, across Newark, right?
Yeah, Newark Airport, yeah. Yeah, because that state does not recognise gay marriage, and because the parents of the partner refused to accept that their son was gay, so they've kind of ignored the partner, and he's not next of kin, he gets nothing.
Yes.
This formula dictates that he gets nothing, despite the fact that his partner is his partner rang him. Right. In his final moments. And he's even brought like a little tape recording of the answering machine. It's like, this is his voice. Right. And they present it to Michael Keaton, and Michael Keaton is like, well, I'm sorry, we have to stick to the formula. And they're like, but don't you, this is not fair. And he's like, well, why can't we make exceptions? And Michael Keaton's like, where do we stop making exceptions? Yeah, and again, I'm usually the guy that is not on Michael Keaton's side, but like, someone's got to do the job, and the job is this, and... Yeah. It's just one of those things, like, none of it is good. I get Michael Keaton's side, and I get their side. Yeah. Totally. Like, why can't you make an exception? Well, because, we can't. We just can't. That's why. Can't, yeah. And so I totally get it. It's just, all of it is just kind of toxified, really, isn't it? It's just, you don't even know where to start with it. It definitely, yeah. And I think my problem with the script, I will finish what I was saying about the scene now, but I think one of my main problems with the script was that it's two problems. The first being is that it's hokey. Is it sentimental? Kind of. Okay. It's like traditional, like you can see the screenplay.
Right, okay.
Because like most of the film seems to be geared towards, like everyone realizes that Michael Keaton is in the wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Keaton just has to realize it too.
Yes.
And so there's multiple like checkpoints throughout the film where Michael Keaton is sort of proven that his methods are flawed.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being like this gay guy.
Yeah.
Another one being like the scene that immediately follows where everyone's gone home for the day and Michael Keaton walks out of his office and there's like one person left and he's like, oh, I guess I have to interview you then. And the person comes in and you're like, all right, this is the scene where he's like emotionally touched by the person and he gives Stanley Tucci, like he gives him like a, hears him out. But this is the scene that I actually like because it's the wife of a firefighter whose brother he's already had a run-in with. And they're both a bit awkward to start because he kind of like, the stenographer's gone home, so he like records the conversation and he's like, I'm sorry, I don't usually do these. I don't really know what to do. And she's like, oh, he was my husband. I don't know what to say about him.
Right.
So they kind of like, they talk a little bit and, it's kind of nice and affable. And obviously as they're talking about it, she breaks down. And she says like, I'm being told by you that you want to give me money. I'm being told by the brother that I need to sue the airlines. I'm being called by people who are like this outpouring of like grief and sorrow, and I'm not getting the phone call I want, which is that they found his body. All I want is for you all to just stop calling me. I thought that was a really nice like idea for a scene.
That they found his body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like not even like I want him to ring me and say that he's alive.
Because I was going to say, because yeah, obviously that's what it all boils down to. That's the human truth of it. But yeah, again, okay, but right, yes. But that said,
yeah,
we still have to do this. But no, if it's like they found the body, that's something practical. And
yeah.
Okay.
And she's like, I just want you to leave me alone. And I like that because it still kind of gets it still like establishes that checkpoint of Michael Keaton is being shown the humanity that he's ignoring. But it didn't go about it in like the hokiest way possible. Right. Which was nice.
Yes.
But like at the very end, because he's also under pressure from these rich people who are like, we represent the rich people because we have expensive suits and slick back hair. And we want more money.
Billy Crudup.
Is it Billy Crudup?
He's the guy, the other lawyer in Spotlight. It turns out is actually a good bloke. But the one who's always like stonewalling them.
You might have to bear with me a moment because it might actually be Billy Crudup.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it is. I don't want to put that forward as like this is definitely the case.
No, okay.
I'm going to double check because it's a guy I recognised.
I hope it's not Billy Crudup. It's probably not Billy Crudup.
No, actually, now that I think of Billy Crudup, he doesn't look like the guy.
Do you know Billy Crudup?
What I'm going to do is Google Worth, and I'm going to show you the person who it actually is.
It's Dr. Manhattan.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think
it's
Billy
not
Crudup.
him. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, ignore that then.
Okay.
But who is it? Let me actually see who the guy is. I believe it's Tate Donovan.
Oh, I know Tate Donovan.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Is he like sleazy rich guy?
Not quite. He's just Guy.
Okay.
He's one of the embassy workers in Argo.
Right, okay.
He's just that guy.
Yeah,
he's in things.
He's Guy.
Yeah,
okay, fair enough.
He was in Good Night and Good Luck. As just one of the people working in the newsroom.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we watched that recently. That's why he used that as an example. It's not like, oh yeah, the go-to Tate Donovan performance.
The seminal Donovan. Yeah.
Oh, he peaked. He peaked then.
He probably peaked when he was dating Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back when she was,
Yeah.
All right.
I thought the idea was that she'd aged well.
Not now.
No?
You've seen her in the morning show?
No.
Don't.
Okay. Okay, all right then.
The show's fine, but it will disenchant you.
Okay.
Yeah. Any work she's had done is catching up to her.
I see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but he the Tate Donovan is like pressuring him to give the rich people more money. It's like, if you don't give the rich people more money, we're going to encourage everyone to sue the airlines.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like at the very end, like Michael Keaton's methods, even after he's seen the light, it's not really working, and because they have to get him a minimum of 80% of the families to sign up to this scheme, otherwise it doesn't work.
Okay.
And they've got like 30%. So he goes to Tate Donovan and he's like, yeah, all right, I'll sign your thing allowing you to have more money so you don't sue the American economy out of existence, you rich bastard. And like Michael Keaton goes to sign it and Tate Donovan says something like, it's not about paying us off, it's about helping us move on. And Michael Keaton stops and he goes, that's something I would say. And Tate Donovan goes, well, yeah, you're my hero. You've inspired everything that I am. You've inspired me to be that person. And that's the moment where Michael Keaton is like, oh, I don't care about money anymore.
Right. Does he say, that's something I would say? Or is it something he says earlier in the film?
Oh, it might actually be that.
Because if it's that, tiny bit more respect for it.
Okay.
I'd rather it's something he did say, has it said back to him, and has like a flash of recognition.
Okay.
Rather than, that's oddly... I think that would be my character to say something like that.
I think he does say it earlier in the film.
Okay.
But I don't know if that character's present or not.
No, but does he, in that scene, does he say, I would say that? Or does he just look like, oh, I realize...
He says the words, I would say that.
Well, it sucks then.
But I think he does say it earlier in the film.
That's fine, but it still sucks.
Yes.
Just have him... We're smart.
Yeah.
Like, we can recognise that, yeah.
That's what I mean about, like, you can see the screenplay playing out.
Yeah. Does he rip up the contract?
No, he dismantles the pen and pours ink on the contract.
Okay, all right. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Because like Tate Donovan is just like there going, wait, no, don't
stop. Staring at it.
Stop it.
Does he then run out of the... Where are they having this meeting?
Oh, like in a fancy restaurant.
Okay, does he run out of the restaurant?
Because he's rich.
Because he's rich.
Yeah.
And then make an impassioned speech on the steps of Town Hall.
No, he runs out of the restaurant, goes back to the office building, and suddenly all of the families are there to receive compensation.
Is he not wearing a tie then? When he has the final chat with them, is he like slightly open-necked and maybe a lighter colour suit?
Oh, I don't know. I think he's like...
not so tightly wound.
He's in the rooms all of a sudden.
Right.
Like he just turns up, he's like, I'm going to sit in and hear about your husband who's dead or whatever.
Okay. Right.
But yeah, they end and it's like 97% of the people. Like at the start of the day they had like 30, but now they've got 97%.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, like this, so that's one flaw in the script is just like, oh yeah, all right, I get it. But also it just doesn't feel like it's fully exploring, like what you were saying about, it's kind of rotten from the start. There's no perfect way of handling the situation. Michael Keaton is he's got a bad lot. Whatever his motivation, because he does say to Stanley Tucci at one point, like, I took this job because I genuinely wanted to serve my country in its time of need. And I get the impression that we're supposed to believe him.
That was sincere.
It wasn't like, oh, I see an opportunity to like further my career. It's like, no, he genuinely wanted to be a part of the recovery of America. But yeah, I didn't feel like it was properly dealing with the fact that like this is so difficult for everyone. Because it does really focus on Michael. Everyone else seems to kind of get it.
Yeah.
Because Amy Ryan is also in the film.
Yeah, she's the conscience, right?
Yeah, she's like basically all the way through. She's kind of like on Michael Keaton's shoulder going, oh, I don't know if I would do it that way, or you need to maybe change your tact here. Oh, that didn't go so well, Michael Keaton.
Does anyone make that point at least, that the whole thing is rotten?
No, I don't think so.
That's worth saying at least. Like, because if it was a fiction film, you go, oh, why are we even dealing in the... It's like, it's so...
Yeah.
But it did happen. And so it probably is worth someone going, just even starting to talk about this.
Yeah.
That it's kind of icky and putrid. But something has to be done.
Well, there's a scene where Michael Keaton goes to, like, an opera. And Stanley Tucci's
also...
up in
a box?
No, he's not. He's like in the crowd.
Just in the crowd.
But Stanley Tucci walks out and he's like, oh, I thought you'd be in the box.
Right. Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. And Michael Keaton says to Stanley Tucci,
like, you got over the death of your loved one quick, mate. Coming to the opera.
Oh, I don't know. I think it's supposed to be like an event that's put on for...
Oh, right, like a benefit or something. Yeah.
Which, like, those poor souls
who
had to go watch opera as like an apology for losing their loved ones.
Yeah.
But
I was dead too.
God, they got it lucky.
It's an opera joke, not a 9/11 joke.
Right, okay. I suppose mine wasn't when I said, like, oh, they had it lucky.
Bit of a 9/11
Bit
joke.
of a 9/11.
Yeah. No, it's still an opera joke, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the target versus the subject.
Okay.
The target was opera.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because opera sucks.
Yeah.
We do not like opera. Do people like opera? Or do people say they like opera?
Some twats like opera.
Okay.
But yeah, not many. Most people are dragged to it, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're both outside. And Michael Keaton says, like, oh, this thing... I can't change the formula now, because if I change it, it's going to get kicked back to Congress, and we're going to miss the deadline, and people are going to sue the airlines, all while Congress are just like, this bill's just going to die on its ass as they debate it to no end. And Stanley Tucci goes, well, then it deserves to die.
Right.
And I guess that's sort of a moment where the film is going like, yeah, it's,
Right.
It's just kind of a bad lot.
Okay.
Because the resolution seems to be that Michael Keaton finally, because he says to his team, he has like this impassioned like, oh yeah, the formula's rubbish, we need to throw out the formula.
Yeah.
We're going to take this on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
We're not going to like, oh, your family was worth $1 million, your family was worth 10,000.
Yeah.
We're just going to like, whatever they need, we're going to give it to them.
Right.
And they're all looking at him with this like with this awe on their faces, and Michael Keaton is like, oh, you hate what I'm saying, and they're like, no, we love it.
Right.
And at that moment, like everything starts going right.
Right.
So I guess the film is saying that there was like an empirically correct way of doing it.
Or a more human way of doing it, I suppose.
I suppose. Yeah. Yeah, but it never feels like it's having a conversation about what are we doing here? How do we deal with this?
Yes.
Which is sort of what I wanted. So I guess maybe
it's just doing an easy version of it.
Yeah.
It's about a guy who's clinical and then he's thawed and then he's like, oh, I need to be more human.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not going into the complexities.
Yeah, and I didn't want... I'm not saying I wanted an essay on the compensation fund for the victims, but I don't feel like I got an examination of it either.
Right.
I feel like I got like a pretty standard story about a guy needs to like open up to people.
I think you generally one has an instinct when you're watching a true story movie, whether they're getting it right, even if you know nothing about it.
Yeah.
You generally have an instinct of like Spotlight.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident they nailed that.
Yeah.
Even if they didn't, that's how it feels.
Yeah.
So I guess it just didn't have that feeling.
No. And there was like, I'll talk about that scene one more time, like the conversation with the wife of like a firefighter who died. Because there's like a moment in that scene where I felt like it was going to do something. And I thought, oh, that's a really good like idea in the script. Whether it happened or not. And that's the thing, I don't know how much creative license it's taking it, but it fits so comfortably within the formula of like that type of story. You have to assume that some creative liberties were taken, even though this is a real guy and this all really happened, or a lot of it really happened. But yeah, like I said, he records the conversation because the stenographer's gone home. He records the conversation with the wife, and I thought the direction they were going in is he had accidentally recorded over the tape that the gay guy gave them of his partner's final conversation on the phone. And I thought, ooh, that's a really good way of like. Because, like, that's a moment where, like, when the character realizes what he's done, he's like, right, I really have to entertain, like, the human side of things now.
I see, right, okay.
Because, like, at worst, it shows, like, oh, yeah, Michael Keaton doesn't care about these people.
Yeah.
But at best, it's the moment where he goes, right, I should hear out Stanley Tucci.
Right.
You know? It's like, oh, I realize what I've done. God, they're right. I'm not even considering
neglect,
them.
Yeah. Not paying attention.
Yeah, I'm not paying attention. I really need to... Because, yeah, like, you see him put the tape in. You see him put the tape recorder down. You see Amy Ryan listening to the tape later on. And I thought, oh, that's the payoff. She's going to listen to it. And suddenly you're going to hear Michael Keaton's conversation.
Yeah.
And like, oh, this bastard, he's not even, like, paying... He's not paying respect.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen. And I felt like... That was another moment where I was like, oh, I'm kind of...
I think...
disappointed in the script.
I mean, I don't know how much liberties it was taking anyway.
No.
But if they were bound by reality, I don't know, that's not something you can invent, I don't think.
No.
You know?
Because it paints the real guy in a very unflattering light.
Yeah, exactly. So if it didn't happen...
But most of the film is him not listening and not listening to and not understanding what people are telling him.
But let's assume they were being faithful to the true story.
Okay.
Then that's that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's showing what happened and it's not showing what didn't. So, I know what I mean, like, the elegance of that. But if that didn't happen, I wouldn't want that put on record as something that I did.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Even if it's just like a nifty narrative construction. Maybe not me, not recording over the final...
the final words of a 9/11 victim.
Maybe look as much of a bastard as you want. But like... Can we maybe...
I don't know, that's a pretty bastardy move.
I know, but can we cut the scene where I'm dancing on the grave of the 9/11 victim? Yeah. So...
where I go to that gay guy and I'm like, this is what I think of your partner.
Edited from history. Yeah.
Didn't happen, mate.
Never happened.
You get nothing.
Yeah, okay. So, no, okay, yeah, that would have been nice, but again, let's assume they were just beholden to
Yeah, I don't begrudge it, but it did...
if only 9/11 was fictional.
But that's the thing, I don't even know if it's a fault of the film. But when I had that idea and I saw almost like confirmation bias. I saw it being set up and it didn't happen. My opinion of the script went down.
Right. Okay.
And I'm not even saying that that's a fault with the film, but it was like in that moment, I was already not enjoying it, but like my opinion of the film was kind of set at that point. It was like, it's just not
worth it.
It's not worth it.
Right.
Yeah, we end with that, right?
Yeah, that's
it's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Okay. Which is kind of a shame, given how like excited I was as soon as I heard of its existence.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I mean, like if it's I wouldn't recommend it.
No.
But like I said, it was on Netflix around the 20th anniversary of 9/11, so you've probably already seen it.
Yeah. Should we talk about an ambulance driver?
Okay.
This is your story, mate.
Is it my story?
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's an ambulance driver who's talking about the Welsh language.
Oh, an ambulance man.
Oh, right, a paramedic.
No, he's like his name is... I have notes.
Okay.
Because I don't remember his name.
He's an ambulance man.
His name is James Moore.
Right.
No relation.
To?
I don't know.
What? Well, Roger, what are you talking about?
Well, I googled James Moore, and it was like James Moore, actor.
Oh, I don't know any James Moores.
I don't know any James Moore, but it's
I know
not
James Dunmore.
Right. Well, it's not him, and it's not James Moore, the actor. He's called James Moore, and he is a senior Welsh ambulance staff member.
Right.
So I don't know if that means he's an ambulance driver,
is he an admin bod,
or whether he's an admin bod,
right?
Or at the time in which he made these comments that we're going to discuss, because he made comments on social media that got people in a bit of a tiff.
Right.
He was on secondment to like a different company.
Yeah.
Like,
have you ever said that word before in your life?
Secondment.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay.
It's fun. It makes you sound important, doesn't it?
It does.
I was seconded.
Makes you sound French.
I was needed so much elsewhere that they facilitated that.
Yes.
You know? Yeah, so James Moore. The reason I'm bringing this up, this is not like a universal story, and it's not like a big thing. Mm-hmm. In fact, if you don't live in Wales, you probably haven't heard of this.
No, I hadn't.
Well, if you live in Wales, you likely haven't heard of this. But it was like okay. I don't know. I feel like because we're Welsh, and we're not like a nationalist, and we're not like oh yeah, the Welsh language, like that's a good thing. We need to, we're not like proper nationalists. We're not like proud. We like being Welsh, I guess.
I don't. Patriotism is kind of a weird thing to me, but I get it. I never really thought of myself as Welsh. Not ashamed of it at all. More than happy to be Welsh.
Yeah,
but I've always thought of myself as British.
Right. I
guess just because like all the things I like, they're not really around here. So I've always kind of just thought of myself as I'm a UK resident. It's in the bit that's got a lot of mountains.
Yes, in the really Welsh bit.
In the Welsh bit.
In the Welsh bit of the UK. Yeah, so like this is sort of why I was brought up, because it's like a local thing that caused a bit of a stir. It's like, okay, it's kind of interesting to talk about. We talk about big events that a lot of people have opinions on. It's like
from 9/11 to the to the end.
From the mainstream to the obscura.
To Chipmunk has won a surfing competition. Yeah.
Oh, could you hear about
God,
Wally the Walrus?
That remind you of something? Oh yeah. Is he dead now or something?
But they thought he was dead.
Yeah.
I don't think he's dead.
Is he resurfaced?
No. Well, I saw an article saying like basically saying they don't believe it was Wally the Walrus's body. And I was like, whoa, Wally the Walrus died?
Right. Okay.
I didn't even know he died.
Right.
Have we talked about Wally the Walrus at all?
I don't think so.
Okay. What is there to say?
Just as the kind of local-ish legend, isn't he? Is it like Pembrokeshire or something?
I think so.
Yeah, West Wales.
He's a walrus that just pops up every now and again.
Yeah.
There was like a debate.
How do we know it's the same walrus?
There is that.
Yeah.
Because he's just a wild walrus. It's not like he's not like in a zoo or anything.
Or got a tattoo or anything.
No. He doesn't have any special talent. It's just a walrus.
No, it's just a walrus, yeah.
Called Wally. Although there was some debate for a while, wasn't there, about what his gender might be?
Right.
They did like a gender reveal article where it's like we can conclusively affirm.
Yeah. Say that again.
No, I refuse. Okay. We can confirm conclusively that Wally the Walrus is a male.
You got to wonder what led to that article, right?
Yes.
Like what was the protocol there, the procedure?
I think it was I don't know, because I can't remember it off the top of my head. Oh yeah, Sam imitated just like someone like
trying to look underneath
the undercarriage of Wally the Walrus. But it was something like, we have looked into it and we can confirm. Like, they were vague about it.
Jesus.
No, but it was like, we're not going to explain how we know, but we know.
Right, okay.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's going on there? Yeah, he's like this weird little local, like, oh, Wally the Walrus was spotted on a rock today.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a walrus.
It's just one of those. Yeah. And now all of a sudden he's died, but all of a sudden he hasn't.
It's not even a special... Again, it has no talents or tricks.
This is what Welsh news is like.
Yeah.
That we had
a walrus.
We had that like little period of time where everyone in Bridgend was killing children, like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and there was a period a few years ago where everyone in Bridgend was killing themselves.
Yes.
That was
all going on in
Bridgend,
Bridgend, it seems.
Yeah. Everyone was hanging themselves, right?
Yeah,
teenagers.
That sounds vaguely familiar. Yeah.
I think it's like 07, 08.
Okay.
Like yeah.
But the rest of the time, like...
We had one like really horrific murder in Ponty.
Yeah, that was 2015, I think that was.
Yeah, but otherwise it's...
Wally the Walrus sat on a rock today. Isn't he grand?
Or going into my father's shop and saying, hey, you've got a butcher shop? He's like, yeah. That's news.
Yeah. That's what our news is like in Wales. So yeah, it's not like we have a personal stake in it. It's just that we're kind of close to it.
No, and I spoke Welsh. I can a bit now.
Well, you went to like a Welsh primary school.
Yeah, I was fluent in Welsh.
Yeah.
Fluent in Welsh.
You had to be, because that was like the condition of you going to a Welsh primary school is you spoke Welsh there, right?
Obviously, you learn it there, but you weren't allowed to speak English.
Did they dispense punishment if you were speaking English?
Yeah, no, obviously not like
not the cane.
Not the cane.
No.
But yeah, no, you weren't allowed to speak English.
Okay.
That was punishable offence.
Yeah.
Everyone did.
Yes.
When you weren't in lessons and in the yard, everyone talked English, and then when the teacher came, you started speaking Welsh.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I spoke Welsh for the first 12 years of my life. I've lost most of it now, but I can understand it when it's spoken.
Yeah.
But speaking it myself, I've got to really think about every word. Yeah.
Well, James Moore, senior Welsh ambulance person, made some comments. Recently about the Welsh language. I did research this, I promise. Okay. I can't quite remember what the circumstances were that led up to him making this comment, because this was a comment, like a response comment on Facebook that he made.
All right.
I think the idea was that someone was trying to implement something about like, we're going to push for the Welsh language to be used here.
Yeah.
And then it was either put through or it was backtracked. That's kind of like the catalyst for this thing. Right. James Moore had something to say about this.
What did he say, George?
He said, the English language is the single most important export from the UK and gives us all a huge advantage in the world. Anything that undermines this in the cause of meeting nationalist zealousy harms us all.
Not a word.
Let him finish. Just imagine if you change the word English. He said, all right, okay. He spelt word world.
Yeah, I'm not confident.
But let him finish.
Okay.
Imagine if you changed the word English to black, or historically in South Africa, coloured. Perhaps non-Welsh speakers should use different buses? Maybe different drinking fountains. As was the case in South Africa, where the whites were a small minority, is it time for the 80% non-Welsh speakers to stand up to the oppressors and stop the ongoing apartheid?
Time for the 80% majority to stand up to the 20% oppressors. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the Welsh. They're definitely the powerful, aren't they? The Welsh speakers.
Well, I'm not going to say specifically...
God.
I'm not going to say specifically who put me on to this.
Right.
But they told me about this, and they were like, I completely agree with him.
Right. Okay, because you brought this up yesterday, and...
Yeah. In sort of like a vague, I half remember this thing we could talk about, yeah.
And I assumed it would be relatively informed. And now you've actually read to me what he said.
Yeah.
He's a fucking idiot. What's he talking about? I don't even know what he's talking about.
Well, he's talking about, like, he goes on to say, this, like, that was a picture of his comment that I read to you.
Yeah.
And then I think they quote him a little further down as well, where he sort of says that, like, bilinguality is, like a good thing.
Yeah.
We shouldn't, like, not have it.
Yeah.
But it's not in the fucking article that I've got.
Okay. Okay. So what's his argument? That right, as far as I understand, there at the moment in Wales there is something of a push. Do you have the facts at hand?
Well, I have further comments that he made.
Okay.
He added, bilingualism is great in many parts of the world. However, narrow-mindedness, insularity,
Insularity.
Insularity.
Okay. Yeah, being insular.
Right, okay. Yeah. That was my fault. Okay. I apologise. Narrow-mindedness, insularity, and petty nationalism, which seems to be entirely linked to the Welsh language, opens your mind only to yourself, leaving Wales trailing even further behind in an increasingly global world.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, he doesn't like the Welsh language itself.
No, but that's what it boils down to, is all these arguments around it. I think anyone that agrees with him, I would say doesn't like Welsh. Because otherwise, he's making no sense.
Okay.
What is he talking about, the segregation thing? I don't know what he means.
Well, it's very clear that he doesn't like Welsh, but I think... I assume, and this is an assumption, but like the person that told me like about, I agree with him, they kind of like are involved with the NHS, as is this individual. And I think there is a push for, within the NHS for like bilingualism.
Yeah, so this is, right. As far as I understand, in Wales, the NHS, there have been various kind of campaigns to make the Welsh language a thing. So, like, when you phone the doctor's surgery in Ponty, the thing you'll get first is, if you want to hear the options in Welsh, press 1, but obviously in Welsh. And then if you want to hear the options in English, press 2.
Well, the very first thing you hear is like thank you for calling this surgery.
Right, yeah.
But in Welsh.
I said it, Judy. That's his accent, isn't it?
No, yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
We know the same. Yeah. We know exactly the same guy that we're talking about.
I fucking hate him. Because he's the only one I see now.
Oh, is he really?
I see him every time I go there.
Oh, okay.
I fucking hate him. But yeah, not naming names.
Okay.
Diolch yn ffonio, sydd y Judy. Os ti eisiau... Yeah, that bloke.
The fucking wanker.
Yeah, that wanker. He's very Welsh, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay,
you can tell that he's like beaming, because I get to speak Welsh.
Yeah. Have you been to him?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You'll just go, okay, just looking at the computer. So have you had any of these symptoms and the blah, 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 blah? And you'll go, no, you go, okay, all right, okay. Oh, I fucking hate it. Anyway, so yeah, you hear that when you phone the surgery.
Yes.
And it's like a minor annoyance. Like, if you don't speak Welsh, you've got to wait like 5 seconds to hear the English. In that sense, yeah, right, put English first. 80% speak English. Put English first.
Yeah.
But Welsh is an option. I don't see how that's a problem. If we're talking at the level of they're spending X amount of money on trying to push for a campaign of Welsh that could be spent elsewhere, fine. That is a legitimate criticism.
Yeah.
But just generally speaking, like the idea of having it as an option, I don't see what the problem is there.
Well, that's the thing, because like from our perspective, we're talking from the perspective of patients of the NHS.
Right.
And yes, it's like a momentary, like, all right, I'll sit through this, and then I'll just press the button for English and for the button for English, and that'll be that.
Chinaman.
Yeah, but within the NHS, it's my understanding that like you basically, if it is requested, if someone's applying for a job and they request for a job interview in Welsh, you have to provide it for them.
Yeah.
Which, like, okay, fine. But I think that puts the employer in a position where they can't speak to the potential candidate.
Right.
They're kind of getting it secondhand through an interpreter. And also, if they decide to hire that individual is going to be a Welsh speaker in an English-speaking team.
Right.
Full of people who don't speak Welsh. And so that's going to add unnecessary complications. I think we should, like, for people who are listening to this who are not Welsh, one day it may happen. We don't know. A little bit of context. Like, Wales is like, we're a pretty small country, right?
Yeah.
I think we're about the size of Israel.
Okay, yeah.
Like, there's 3 million of us, and we basically, like, half of the Welsh population live in, like, a couple of cities and the surrounding valleys at the bottom of the country.
Yes.
14% of Wales houses 50% of the population. And then when you get past, like, a certain threshold, as you go further north, it's basically just dirt roads and sheep.
Yeah.
You see, like, one person every 3 years, every time when you go up a certain distance. Yeah. And that's where all of the Welsh people are.
Yeah.
In the densely populated parts of Wales that, unless you're going to climb Mount Snowdon, you're probably going to see if you come to Wales, it's basically all English speaking.
Yeah. Like, there's, I don't know, I guess it's the equivalent of, like, faith schools. Like, you have Welsh speaking schools that the kids go to, as I did in this part of the country, obviously.
Yes.
See, I grew up surrounded by Welsh speakers, you know, but as a second language. There are some parts of Wales where it's a first language.
Yeah.
But very, very rare.
Yes.
Yeah, there's basically no one that speaks Welsh and doesn't speak English.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's no just like, oh, I'm just a Welsh speaker.
No.
I think like as you go further north, there are probably people who only speak Welsh.
Some, yeah, well, certainly that only actually speak Welsh.
Yeah.
Whether they're able to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
if you're in the southeast, which we are, and most people are,
you're
it's either
very rare to hear people speaking Welsh.
You're either English speaking or you're bilingual.
Yeah,
English and Welsh. You don't get both.
I think
you don't get you're just Welsh. You know?
People in Welsh media and the arts tend to speak Welsh.
Yeah,
that's a thing.
Like I did when I did my 2 weeks at the BBC when we were filming Midsummer Night's Dream in 2016? Everything was happening in 2016. That was a good year.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2017 it happened, like early 2017. But there were like these two people in the art department who were both bilingual, and so they spoke to each other exclusively in Welsh.
Yeah.
And it might have just been me, but like there was a part of me that was kind of like, are you just doing that to be like...
Well, that's the thing. If they were the only two that spoke Welsh, then they're practicing, aren't they? Like to an extent. They speak, and that's fine. Like I always found it funny when you'd walk into a shop and the proprietor would be on the phone speaking Hindi or something. And like my family go, oh, it's so rude. It's so... You just want the privilege of being able to overhear his conversation. Yes, that always struck me as odd. Like when people are doing it to be rude or to deliberately exclude.
Oh yeah, didn't you tell me a story before about you were on the train?
Yes.
And you did something that ticked someone off.
Yeah.
Or like I don't know if it actually was something being ticked, like worthy of being ticked off about.
Yeah.
But you did someone to tick something off, and they started complaining about you to their compadre on the train in Welsh.
Oh no, that was I've had many encounters on trains, but no, the Welsh thing was a bunch of ethnic minorities got on the train, and then a couple that had been speaking English started speaking Welsh.
Oh right, okay.
So it's like grassroots racism. But I've had that, yeah, people have done that to me where they think, oh, well, now get one up on him and speak Welsh, not knowing that I understand it.
Yeah.
But like two of my lecturers, the two that were Welsh, spoke Welsh. Welsh actors that make it in America tend to. I think Michael Sheen does.
Right.
Matthew Rhys does.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a thing in the media and the arts.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's about culture, like national heritage.
Yeah. Well, I know the BBC, they've like made multiple statements about we're committed to preserving the Welsh language. Yeah. So if you want to complain to us or just talk to us in Welsh, we'll offer that service to you. The NHS are obviously making sure that they have that service. I think as of July 2021, you now cannot hold a position in the Welsh government or like in the civil services if you don't if you can't speak Welsh.
Okay.
To like a certain level.
Yeah.
It's not like bad. I think it's like you have to be able to pronounce Welsh names.
Sure.
You have to be able to answer the phone bilingually, and you have to like be able
basic conversation.
Yeah, like I think it's called courtesy level Welsh.
Right.
So it's not like you have to be fluent.
Sut wyt ti, da iawn, diolch.
Yeah. It's like hello.
Hello.
Like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm fine with that. Like
Okay.
I think to work in the government of Wales, that seems like a good requirement.
Oh, like if you're like high up in the annals of the Welsh government,
or talking with anybody,
then absolutely.
Yeah.
Like if it's like a lower civil service job,
but if it's basic, if it's that basic, that's fine, isn't it? I mean, it is the Welsh government. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm by no means a nationalist, and I'm not like, I didn't bother to remember Welsh. I'm not like an ardent supporter of it, but
it's kind of something that I wish I could do.
Yeah.
But
there's no real
kind of like as a
practicality
party
to it.
trick, really.
It gives you a bit of a leg up in job situations
within the country.
Some jobs, obviously within the country.
Yeah, but like in most instances, you're just going to kind of be using it as like oh look, I can speak Welsh.
Well, it just shows that if you're bilingual, it opens up other. Your brain is trained to. If you speak 2 languages, it's easier to speak 3, basically, or 4. You know, the jump from 1 to 2. Is much bigger than 2 to 3, basically. Yeah, because you have that, you've trained that muscle. But on the level of if you're applying for a job in the NHS and then the actual boss can't talk to you through I'm not down with that. Like, and you should be able to speak English.
And also the fact that like, okay, we'll offer you an interview in Welsh, but if you get the post, you won't be able to communicate with anyone because no one can speak Welsh.
No, but on the level of if you want to hear the options in Welsh, if you want to be talked to in Welsh, that's fine.
Yes.
But no, yeah, when it's getting in the way of doing... anytime it's getting in the way, it shouldn't be prioritised.
You have to assume, for him to be James Moore now, for him to be so venomous about the Welsh language, you have to assume that that's born out of frustration, right?
Yes.
Like, he's probably, being a senior member, he's probably risen through the NHS, and he has seen... he's encountered obstacles.
I got to say that he's not acquitting himself very well.
Okay.
Because he comes across just like an idiot. Like an ignorant idiot.
Okay.
Because, like, ignoring the, zealousy and stuff like that. I think he thinks he stumbled onto a really interesting point.
Okay.
That doesn't exist.
Right.
What if you replaced English with black? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No one is trying to set... Because didn't he say apartheid or something?
Yeah, he used the word apartheid.
No one is trying to establish apartheid. No. There's no equivalence whatsoever.
Well, no, they're just trying
It's just two different things, that's
preserve the language.
Yeah.
Like, if you see
as an option. It's the opposite of apartheid.
If you see that as an imposition, like the fact that, like, they're making, like... I can't refuse someone who wants to speak Welsh at me.
Yeah.
Then... I'm not saying he's right. I'm just trying to, like...
If you're saying, like...
establish the perspective, like the position he's coming from.
Yeah. Like, if it's the case of the Welsh speaker applying for the job in the NHS will only speak Welsh and therefore can only talk to other people, well, frankly, you just wouldn't get the job because if you're not willing to speak English, you're not getting it.
But you can't... That's the thing.
No, I know.
That counts as discrimination.
That's dumb.
Yeah.
That is dumb. But... So if it's like, so then you've got the Welsh-speaking doctors over there and the English-speaking doctors over here.
Yeah.
If that even was workable, I can see in a way how apartheid would flare up in one's mind because of the segregational aspect of it.
Yeah.
But it's nothing like apartheid whatsoever. It's so silly.
Well, in fact, he's like, we have to, the 80% have to rise up so they don't get apartheid.
Yeah, I know. Like, for God's sake. For God's sake.
Well, he lost his job.
Rightly so.
James Moore lost his job.
Yeah, rightly so.
And in the NHS were like, that's all on him. We don't think that.
Yeah.
No, it was just like an interesting little, like, okay.
Yeah.
Like this, that's a weird point that he's made.
Yeah. But like the black thing, what is that?
Well, I'm wondering if that's another, like... I mean, this is the point where we start making assumptions about his character.
No, I'm not saying he's being racist.
No, I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that, like, is he unknowingly or unconsciously sort of fusing his frustrations?
I think he just...
Like, he's one of these silent majorities that we're always talking about. Like, most people just want a quiet life. They don't care if you think that black people are being killed by the police all the time. They don't care that...
No, I think that what's happened, again, could be wrong, is that he... The kind of the imagery of Welsh doctors and English doctors being separated, apartheid,
right?
And so he ran with it.
Okay,
but when you actually black, there's absolutely no equivalence.
No.
So what if you're a black person applying for a job and you can only speak to a black person? And then you can only treat... But is that what he's trying to, like, say?
Well, he's done it because of the segregation thing, as you pointed out.
Yeah, but so it doesn't actually... There's no correlation whatsoever.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously an idiot. He used the word zealousy. Like, I'm not to be a proper snob about it, but he's obviously not the smartest cookie, is he? And world,
Yeah, the world instead of word, yeah.
Yeah, he's not, This was a comment on a Facebook thing, right?
Yes, it was.
This wasn't like a public statement.
No. It may as well have been given like the just like not justice, but the punishment that's been dispensed.
Yeah, we have to stop assuming that the people in senior bureaucratic positions are smart. I think,
right?
Because we have to get over that bias. Look at Joe Biden. We've just got to There's always the thing, isn't it? Because we're younger than most people in high tier positions.
Yes.
You think, they're smart. They're not. We're smarter than most. I'm not happy saying it. I'm totally happy saying it. It's not.
Clearly.
It's not. Yeah. It's not narcissism or a bragger. It's you just know enough human beings.
It's the truth. I'm just better than
not
you.
Better, but you know this. Like, you know a lot of human beings. Do you really think that all people in positions
I know some.
all people in positions of authority are smarter than us? No way. But yeah, so we've got to get over that.
Okay,
he's obviously a numpty.
Right. Okay. I'm curious. He must have thought he was right. He must have,
obviously.
He must have been so confident that he was right because he must have known that, like, the moment that he brought not even like apartheid into it, but like when he was like, as soon as he mentioned like black, as soon as he drew that comparison, it's like, oh, we're the oppressed, with the majority, but we're the oppressed.
Yeah.
Given the state of the world at the moment, he must have known that was gonna, like, people are gonna notice it,
unless he's just that tone deaf.
Or, like I said, he's one of those people that just wants to live a quiet life, so he's sort of...
he's going the wrong way about it.
He is there. Yeah. But yeah, he's just kind of like, oh, I don't follow it, so I don't know the extent of it. I didn't realise that, like, this specific comparison is not advised.
What was he commenting on?
There was an article that sort of said what it was.
Was it just someone's post? Or was it an official post?
Well, like, if you look at a picture of the Facebook comment, it says David in, like, bold letters.
Right.
And then he goes on to make his point.
He might just have thought, oh, I'll make my point and no one's going to notice. It might get a few likes. I'll get Facebook.
I don't know. Do you make a comment like that if you think no one's going to notice?
No. I mean, like, he's not going to lose his job over it.
Right.
Like, he's going to make it. It's going to get loads and loads of likes.
Yeah.
And he's going to get the endorphin hit. And he can go back to just being miserable about the Welsh language.
Okay.
But yeah, not knowing, oh shit. Like, oh, I forgot, I'm senior, aren't I? In the ambulance.
I was on secondment, damn it.
I'm a decision maker.
That's how important I was. Another place wanted me, and the other place was like, well, we won't even get rid of you. We'll just let them have you for a while.
Secondment. There, I've said it now. There you go.
Yeah.
First time for everything.
According to National Cymru, Carmarthenshire Council was preparing to consult on proposals to introduce changes to Model Church in Wales School in Carmarthenshire, which I think they wanted to, like, push. They wanted the Welsh subject to be taught more.
Right.
There was, like, a push for it.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it went through or it failed, but I think this is what... I think he responded to that. But the council later scrapped the consultation with the Model Church in Wales School following a backlash from school staff and teachers' unions. So he was probably like, oh, everyone agrees with me because the school has said no to this. So I'm backing them up, essentially.
Okay. Yeah, like, I can honestly say I have no bias here. It's incidental that I used to speak Welsh. I chose to move to an English school because I didn't want to do Welsh anymore. But I never disliked it, like, objectively.
No.
It just, I knew I was better at English, so I wanted to move to an English school. And Welsh in English schools, so like school we went to, Welsh is pretty much the most despised subject, I would say.
Right. Like,
if you're of a certain inclination, it's PE, but otherwise it's Welsh. No one wanted to do Welsh.
It's funny how that when we got to, I think it was a GCSE level, they put us on a roster where PE and Welsh were interchangeable.
Right.
Like, 1 week you do PE, the other week you do Welsh.
Yes. Yeah, and nobody liked Welsh.
No.
But I gotta say, and that's fine, you know, but the snobbery in this dynamic is English speakers. It's not Welsh people who are like nationalistic and no, we must enforce the language. The amount of people are like, oh, it's useless. Like, what? It's just so beneath me to do it.
Yeah.
Like it was twee. You know, it was like hanging out with your grandparents or something. That was the attitude you got for Welsh. And it's just a shame that, like, more people aren't interested in it. But if the snobbery comes from anywhere, it's from English speakers who think it's like Latin, and like, oh, just leave it. Yeah, like, oh, it's not a player on the world stage. Well, it's heritage, it's culture, it's what we are, it's where we come from. Yeah, like I say, I say that without bias. I think it's just a shame that more people don't want to speak Welsh, because why not? You know, why not? It's just an option. Yeah. And just the thought of anything dying out like that, it's sad. Yeah. Like, why should it? Why should it? It's not causing anybody any harm. It's like Wales. It's just a nice little humble... What we do. What we do.
We got the most castles per square mile than anyone in the world.
Got a lot of sheep.
I think, because I was looking up like little statistics just in case they came up.
Right.
And sheep outnumber people in Wales 4-1.
In New Zealand, it's like 10-1, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, in our humble little country, there's like 4 sheep for every person.
Yeah.
I also found out...
we're a polygamous culture.
I was
playing into a stereotype that's not true there, Jordan.
No, were you doing that?
Yeah. To any foreign listeners, we can say it. can't.
It's our, you know.
It's our bestiality.
Yeah, and I also found out that Wales is 3 times smaller than the original Death Star.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's like a moon, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But we are 1,152 times smaller than the moon.
Okay.
But basically, there's this website called Pfft, right?
Oh, God.
Where you can, like, if you type in 2 countries...
First the hentai.
What?
Go on.
Pfft.
Yeah, go on.
Why? What's Pfft? What are you pulling from that? What are you trying to...
Oh, just like weird internet versions. Yeah.
No, it's basically just like you type a country and then you type in another country and it shows them side by side and tells you, like...
Stats.
The scale difference.
Right.
So, like...
so, like Death Star.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Death Star's a weird one. Because they're all kind of like, you know...
What about Tatooine?
No, it's basically just like these countries... Like, it's countries and major cities. And then also the moon, which is like fair enough.
Yeah.
And then the Death Star?
Just as like a fun...
Yeah.
That's the weekend comparison.
Yeah, you bring that out on a Sunday as like a party trip.
Yeah, the day you could take your toys to school.
Yeah. I think it's just the Death Star.
We're going to do Death Star today. Ooh. Yay, because that's fictional. It doesn't exist.
Yeah. It's not real. It's not real. So that's how I know that Wales is... I think it's 1-to-1, pretty much. Like, it's a different shaped country, but... Yeah, it said Israel is 1 times... Like, it's the same.
Right.
As Wales.
What were you doing to find this out? Were you individually typing in Wales and other countries?
I just wanted to be like... What's, like, a good comparison for people? Because if I just say Wales is like...
No, that's fine.
It's like 2,000 square miles. Like, doesn't mean anything.
I'm just wondering whether you like put in Wales and it shows you equivalent countries, or you had to manually type in a bunch of countries to see.
You can. You can just be like Wales versus Israel.
Yeah.
Or you can just type in Wales and then it'll show you like places that are...
Closest to...
Yeah, places that are the same size, places that are half the size, places that are double the size.
And so I can disabuse myself of the image of you having to manually go, Russia, Kazakhstan.
Oh yeah, no, it's not that.
You just typed in Wales and it went, it's like Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fair enough.
I thought that we...
Both have national languages with a lot of... So there is some similarity.
Yeah, and also, yeah.
We don't have any Jews here, really, though.
No
Jews.
We could do with some more Jews.
We could do some more Jews.
That'd be nice.
It's just dwindled, like incrementally dwindled, over the years.
Well, because I said like we've got a population of 3 million.
Yeah.
And the census will be out next year, I think.
Okay.
We did the census recently, so those numbers will all change. I'm curious to see. I think I said before. I'm sort of curious to see what the demographic breakdown is.
Do you know what I predict?
What?
More Muslims.
Well, there's probably going to be that.
Yes.
But I think on the 2011 census, it said that Wales was 95% white.
Yeah.
We basically have the same distribution, like the same percentage amount of white people.
As an egg.
As Russia.
All right, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we're very white.
We are very white.
We're a very white country.
Yeah.
Because it's all farmers.
Well, it was kind of like a black kid a year in school, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was sort of how they...
Like, oh, hello.
Yeah.
Where are you from then?
He was a wanker, wasn't he?
It was just the one. It was the one guy.
It was the one, and it was incidental that he was a wanker.
It was a shame, really. It's like, oh, good, no. I'd lost my chance now to have him.
As
a black friend.
That friend, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, it's just like, oh, okay. What a little weird little...
Yeah.
And it's not going to... Like, that's not going to exist on the world stage. That's not something people are casually going to bring up. It's like, oh, did you hear about this Welsh guy? That was like, oh...
No, right. Yes.
Yeah, so I thought, oh, okay. I'm curious to see what people think about that.
Yeah. I think he'll just crack on, won't it? I mean, he's been sacked, so, like, he's...
Yeah, that's probably it for him.
He's gone.
I don't know what he's going to do now, but, yeah.
I mean, the Welsh language will die out. It just will, at some point.
Yeah.
So we move on.
Okay. All right.
Okay. It's another Jordan thing.
Yeah. I think... Was it the last couple of episodes? It's basically just been you.
Yes.
So I felt a duty to do my part.
Yeah.
Do my bit.
Go on, man. Do your bit.
Do my bit. Yeah. This is not a question so much as it's just sort of like
a statement.
No, it's sort of I want to run something by you. Basically, to sort of like a logic check almost. Does this work?
Mm-hmm.
You've heard the expression, I call a spade a spade.
I have.
What context, typically, do you hear that statement being used in?
That I call a spade a spade?
Yeah. You know me, I call a spade a spade.
I suppose people feel compelled to say that when they might be saying something controversial.
Okay.
That they're defending as, I'm just saying it how it is.
Right, okay.
I suppose would be the most frequent context for that.
Okay.
You know him, he calls a spade. He doesn't mince his words.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I feel like for me, the context that I typically hear it in is sort of... It's often used as like one's credentials for honesty.
Right, okay.
It's like, you know me, I'm a straight shooter. I call a spade a spade.
Right.
Don't bullshit. I'm not misrepresenting the situation to you. I'm not... Right, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
I've had like, you know...
I suppose that's kind of in the first one, but not as the primary engine of it.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like when someone says, I'm saying it how I see it.
Yeah.
Implicit within that is, I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah.
But, yeah, okay.
Yeah, but that's like the forum that I've most seen.
Right, I'm not a liar, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah, I'm not a liar. I'm not like having a go. I'm not bullshitting you.
Right.
You know me, I call a spade a spade.
Right.
Or anyone who knows me will tell you, I call a spade a spade.
Okay.
That doesn't actually prove anything, right?
Explain.
So, like, let's imagine for a moment, Sam.
Yes.
That I'm a bullshitter.
Sure. As our English teacher once.
Fantastic. If that logical leap could be made.
I can get myself there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Give me a second. There, go.
Okay. Imagine for a moment that I'm a bullshitter.
Yeah.
Right? There's a spade over in the corner, right?
Sure.
But no, actually no. I'm ignore that.
Okay.
Imagine there
Are you bullshitting me now?
No, I'm not.
Right.
No, I'm not. Because I'm not a bullshitter. I promise.
No, you are. We're imagining that you are.
In this hypothetical, I'm a bullshitter,
right.
but I'm not. I'm
okay.
not a bullshitter. You know me, Sam. I call a spade a spade.
You do.
Yeah. There is a football.
Right.
In the corner of the room.
A soccer ball?
There is a rugby ball.
Okay.
In the corner of the room. You have anything to say about that?
No, that's fine.
No, the rugby ball?
Are the rugby balls different between rugby league and rugby union?
There's a cricket ball. Over in the corner, right?
Okay.
Okay?
I think they're pretty universal.
Yeah, we know what those are, yeah.
For the sport, not like a ball of crickets.
No.
Okay. There's a cricket ball in the corner. Okay.
The fucking, like, the effort one goes to.
Yeah. To just bending over backwards, yeah. You could have meant this.
Just a hard cut to you in your bedroom with, like, a little lamplight. Like, completely dark, but like a lamplight of you, like, gluing crickets together.
See, it's possible.
In a sphere.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a cricket ball over in the corner of the room.
Yes.
And I say, that's a spade.
Right.
And you go, no, it's a cricket ball.
Yeah.
And you go, you know me, I call a spade a spade.
Right.
Well, I have.
No, you haven't. It's not a spade.
No, but it's a spade. I just told you it's a spade.
Yeah, but you're lying.
No, but...
Well, you're wrong or you're lying. It's one of the two.
No, but I've just said I call a spade a spade.
Yes.
And I have.
Right.
Because I called something a spade.
Yeah.
And that thing that I have identified as a spade, I'm calling it a spade.
Yeah, but it's not a spade. The thing that you've identified as a spade is not a spade.
This is my point.
Right.
You know me, I call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're a liar. If you're going to call... Whatever you call a spade...
Yeah.
Basically, you're consistent with your lying. That's what you're proving, right?
But
you know me, I call a spade a spade.
No, but if it was whatever I call a spade is a spade, okay. But implicit within I call a spade is it has to be a spade.
No, but I'm sure that's what they want to prove.
Yes. It is a spade,
yeah.
and I'm identifying it as such.
Yes.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can trust me.
Yeah.
But you're a liar. Because you call a cricket ball a spade.
Right.
So, you've just proven that you're consistent with your lies.
Yeah. What's your point?
That statement proves nothing.
But how is that different from a liar just saying, I don't lie? Because if he's a liar, then you can't trust anything he says.
No, well, that's the thing. It's like, I don't lie. It's like, well, that could be a lie.
If he's a liar, it almost certainly is.
Yeah.
Well, it is.
Yeah, well, it is, yeah. But, you know me, I call a spade a spade. It's like it's trying to root it in, you know...
Yeah, but it could say literally anything.
Well, yeah.
But, okay, right. You know, if I was trying to convince you I was telling the truth, and I was saying, I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
if I'm a liar and you don't believe me, there's really nothing I can say that's going to convince you.
No.
But I have to try and convince you that I am telling the truth.
No.
So the first words I use are, I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
And then I'll do, I call a spade a spade. But it doesn't matter what I say. I could say literally anything.
No, but I guess, like, the logic is that if you just say, like, oh, I'm telling the truth.
Yes.
It's like, well, no, because what you're doing is you're telling me what you want me to think. And I know that that's wrong, because I know you just lied to me, so...
Right.
Even though you're telling me you're telling the truth.
But I call a spade is just an example to highlight the same thing.
No, but that's the thing. You're like, it's like you're providing proof. It's like you're rooting it in an example. Like,
well, it's not proof, is it? It's still just words.
It is still just words.
Yeah.
But it's rooted in something now.
It's just as imagery, that's all.
Yeah, it's not like a vague, like, oh yeah, this is sort of the idea that I want you to accept. It's
right.
Like, no, here's an example of me telling the truth. I call a spade a spade.
Is it ever used in that context, though?
I feel like...
Where someone goes...
It's been used for me in that context.
Really?
I have.
Where someone goes, I promise you I'm telling the truth. And you go, I need more. And they go, okay, for instance...
No, okay,
I call a spade a spade.
Not specifically that.
Well, what then?
But more like someone is lying to you, or someone's, like, giving you the runaround.
Right.
A manager in Tesco, right? That's like...
This has happened to you?
Yeah, this is, like, my most recent example of it. Where he's telling me all of this, like, cock and bull story about, why they don't have any of my paperwork available, and he's like...
Right.
And like, like, they're giving me the reasons of why, like, they were letting me go, even though, like, none of it made sense. And they were like, oh, well, you know me. Like, anyone that knows me will tell you, Joe, I call a spade a spade.
Right. I'm telling you the truth. I'm being straight with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's like, well, okay, I can't, you're not just saying, like, oh, you know me, I tell the truth.
Yes.
Because anyone worth their salt's going to go, well, that just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But it's like, oh, you know me, I call a spade a spade. It's like, well, he's demonstrating on, like, a low level, admittedly. It's not like... solid proof.
I think part of the gap here is that I would maintain I have mostly heard it with people trying to defend a controversial statement.
Okay.
Islam's not... The Quran is not a peaceful book. I'm just calling a spade a spade.
Right.
Stuff like that.
If the spade fits, that kind of...
Right, sure.
Yeah.
If the spade fits, detonate it. And whatever. Quran, I don't know, Islam. Okay, so let's not do that again.
No.
Puncturing my jokes. But I think if someone says it themselves, I call a spade a spade, the added ingredient beyond... Right. If it is essentially tantamount to, I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
But they're kind of going one step further with it. The added ingredient is hubris.
Right.
Because if I'm just telling you, I'm telling you the truth, it's like I'm pleading with you almost.
Okay.
If it's I call a spade, that's a glowing remark on my character.
Okay.
Not only am I telling you the truth, telling the truth is what I do.
Right.
I'm a truth teller.
I see.
I call a spade. Anyone will tell you that. I have a reputation for being honest. That's the added ingredient, isn't it? It's almost like self-congratulation.
Okay.
I would never say that. If I was trying to convince you I was telling the truth, I would say, Jordan, I'm telling you the truth. Why would I lie? I would never say, you know me, I'm not a lying person. So that's the ingredient, I think, that changes it up. I don't think you can say it's used as superior evidence.
Not superior evidence.
Yeah. Or that it's being employed with that in mind.
I don't know. I feel like it is a... I agree with your... the context in which you use it.
Yeah.
Yes. Because that's like saying, like, I'm not
a bigot.
Yeah, I'm not a bigot.
Yeah.
I'm not imposing my beliefs or prejudices or understandings on it. I'm just saying it how it is.
Yeah.
Tis a spade.
Yeah.
Therefore, I call it such.
Right.
Don't shoot the messenger.
What other
proverbs you want me to throw into this?
Yeah. No, don't shoot the messenger, I think, is basically the motivating energy of saying that, mostly.
Okay.
From what I've heard.
Right.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. Yeah.
But I've also seen it employed, as I say, as like a...
I'm not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth.
One bearing their credentials of honesty.
Right, okay.
Not only do I call a spade, I am recognised for my spade calling abilities.
Yeah. It's that cockiness.
Yeah.
Almost. But I just don't... I suppose I just don't know why you would linger on it as like... But if they're a liar, then it doesn't matter what they say. but you could say that about literally anything else as well. It's not like that. It's not like we really need to debunk the "I call a spade thing." Do you know what I mean?
No, but like, you see what I mean though about like
no. Go on.
Can you please see it? What I'm saying.
One of us is going to have to see it the other's way at some point so we can finish. But yeah,
because like that, like it is admittedly predicated on like it being used in that context about like, you know,
I'm not a liar. Yeah,
I'm not a liar. I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's like it's providing you evidence. It's like that's a spade.
Is evidence the right word? It's not evidence, is it?
Evidence feels a bit grandiose.
It's just.
I will admit.
I know. It's just an expression.
It is, but you're kind of rooting it in something. It's not just like a vague like.
Because it's a spade.
Yeah.
Digging. I don't know.
You dig and then you put roots in.
Well, yes. Well, yeah. In terms of actually putting roots in.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you think of rooting in the sense of
you dig up
digging
roots.
Down.
Oh right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like rooting your spade in the ground.
Okay.
And then you pull it back up.
Okay. All right.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Let's not do it. Let's not do it.
No. Okay.
Yeah. You've acquiesced.
No. I thought you were like, oh, let's not fight.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Oh right. Okay.
Yeah. So let's just say that you've acquiesced.
Oh no, why must we do that?
Oh God. Are we going to fight over fighting?
I didn't acquiesce, I just recognised that
this
is eerily similar to like the thing that triggered the last argument.
Okay.
So let's just cool it.
I'm going to give it 5% validity.
What?
The rooting thing with the spade.
Okay.
But yeah, no more than that. I won't be overly generous to myself.
In the sense that roots and spades both descend.
No, I'm thinking of in the verb. To like root something into something.
Okay.
He rooted his foot on the ground. You know what I mean? Like
right.
when you plant something into something.
But with spades, your plan is not for it to stay there. It doesn't
stay there. No, but it's temporarily rooted.
If you're setting down roots, you're planning on staying somewhere. Right?
Sure.
Spades do not stay.
You temporarily root the spade in the ground before you lift it.
Well, no, because even then it's
still rooted. It's because it's stuck for a moment.
The purpose is not for the spade to be there.
No,
it's for the spade to remove what is there.
You're thinking of rooting in the grander sense of you plant something that stays.
Right.
But when something is rooted in the ground, I would admit, if I was writing something, I wouldn't use the word, he rooted the spade in the ground, and then...
Then why use it now?
Now?
Yeah.
Because this is an ad hoc conversation.
Okay. But if it's not...
I haven't written down everything I'm going to say.
If it's not good enough... For eternity, why is it good enough for now?
We'll come back to that with the MCU.
All right, okay.
But so we just move on from this.
Yeah, we're just fighting.
So we just get back to the "I call a spade thing."
Yeah, no. So basically, that was my point. That like,
right.
If your intention is to use "I call a spade,"
yeah,
as a sort of like, oh yeah, I do tell the truth. Here's an example of me telling the truth.
I think it's just it's a synonym for I tell the truth.
Right.
I don't think it's an example of them telling the truth.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
But you admit that it's more tangible than I'm not lying to you.
Well, it's more tangible because it's imagistic.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean anything different, I would say.
No.
It's not right.
But the fact that
level 1 argument failed. Let me advance it to level 2. Yes. I think it's still on level 1. When they say I call a spade.
But will you at least concede that the fact that it conjures imagery gives it more, like, gravitas? A bit more. I'm not saying that this is, like I said, I wouldn't present this to a Supreme Court.
Yeah.
Expecting them to go, well, he's got us, lads. You know?
Well, gravitas is not the word I would use because it's a cliche.
Okay. But it's, like...
Because it's easy to say.
Yeah.
So strips it of its gravitas.
Yeah.
It's different than saying I'm telling the truth. Can we just agree on that?
It's definitely different.
It's just different.
It's
something else. It's got another flavour to it.
And it proves nothing.
But nothing.
That is my ultimate
But nothing
point.
they could say would prove anything.
Sure.
So to linger on one example is madness.
Right.
Yeah?
What about madness?
What? What about it?
Well, you said let's linger on one example.
If anything a liar says...
Yeah.
is not to be trusted,
yes,
then why would we try and debunk just one thing that a liar might say?
Because it's a thing that liars do say.
I would say...
But it's framed as like...
We've had some pretty esoteric conversations on this podcast.
We have?
This is top 5.
Is it?
It's got to be top 5.
What?
For esotericism.
Right, I was going to say, yeah, not top 5.
Oh, no, not in quality.
Yeah.
God, no, this has been a waste of everyone's time. Mainly us.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's been a laugh.
It's been alright.
It's past the time.
Yeah.
Some stuff happened.
Yes, because in a fun-filtered podcast, what you really need is filler. You really need something
really need filler.
to build up the runtime.
I think that's settled, isn't it?
Is there? What did we decide
It ended.
on? Yeah, it certainly ended. But
I think we ended on that it just has a different flavour. I call a spade is just different than saying I'm telling the truth.
Okay, can we at least agree that it doesn't prove it's useless?
No, I agree with you with that from the start.
Because what it's trying to...
It's just the very process of trying to debunk it.
Because of the people that typically use this phrase.
Right.
It cannot achieve what it's trying to achieve.
No, but nor could anything.
Okay. Fine. I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
But this is amongst the things. This is amongst the anythings.
What if they said I'm a straight shooter?
That's also, yeah.
But why aren't we arguing about that?
Well, because it's a different kind of image, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still an image that confers the same idea.
Because, like, it's a bit more difficult, isn't it? Because, like... Because, like, I call a spade. Like, it could be, like, as you say, it could be anything. So it's like, that tractor over there, that's actually a blueberry.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Oh, you know me, I call a blueberry a blueberry.
No, that's fair enough, because that actually doesn't exist as an expression.
Yeah.
So there'd be no point debunking that. So I'm not
inventing phrases I'm trying to debunk.
No,
I'm just... like,
no, that's my point. But saying I'm a straight shooter, that does exist.
Well, like...
But why aren't we saying... But that would prove nothing. He could shoot sideways.
He could shoot sideways.
But so why aren't we talking about that? What is it about I call a spade that is so uniquely ire-inducing to you?
I don't know. I can more easily see myself in the image of the former.
Right.
So, like, I'm in a room with this liar, with this bullshitter, right?
Yeah.
And there's a blueberry over in the corner.
Yeah.
He's like, that's a spade.
Right.
I can see myself being in that situation and going, well, it's not.
Right.
More easily than I can see myself in a room where he shoots. He's like, I'm a straight shooter. It's like, oh, well,
But has anyone who's ever said I call a spade actually called a spade?
But that's the thing, they have.
No, but have
because it is a spade to them. They've identified it as a spade.
No, but I'm saying in reality, have they really called anything a spade that was or wasn't a spade? Have they ever held a spade and gone, this is a spade? or held a blueberry and gone, this is a spade? I think people who say I call a spade have never actually called a spade a spade.
I don't think, given the...
I think they're just using it as an illustration.
The sheer amount of people that have lived since people started to live.
Yeah.
We can't...
Well, someone has.
We can't outright dispute we can't outright say that there has never been a moment in history where a man has held a spade and gone, this is a blueberry.
That might well have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have happened.
Yeah.
And just implicit within, like, bring me the spade.
Yeah.
And they mean a spade.
Yeah.
They're calling a spade a spade.
They are.
But I don't think they've ever actually called a spade.
No.
It's a spade, that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think they're using
I'm doing this specifically so that when someone calls me a liar...
I can tell the truth about this to justify a lie.
Yeah. I'm like manufacturing an example in which I'm telling the truth.
So that I can lie in the future.
Yeah, because I told the truth about this.
So yeah, that's my CV.
And you're all here to bear witness.
Yeah, you all know.
Yeah.
So I'll ring you in the future. Yeah. And you could tell them that I did call a spade a spade.
Hi, Jeff, it's me. Look,
time I held a spade.
Yeah. And Jeff's there like...
Oh, God.
Yeah.
What are you trying to get away with?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, I enjoyed it.
Okay, all right.
So
we agree?
Do we?
I
don't think we do, but I don't think we disagree enough. That any of that mattered, you know?
Is this where we're at? We don't agree, but we don't disagree enough to carry on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Should we move on?
Okay, all right.
Okay. So there's going to be a Penguin spin-off. You know the Batman film is coming out.
Oh, Penguin. Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think I said?
Oh, no, I thought you said Penguin.
Oh, right.
But I thought you meant... You didn't provide ample context.
What do you think I said? Penguin. But then you went, oh, Penguin.
Yeah. As in the Penguin.
The Penguin.
I thought you meant a penguin.
But you can't really say there's going to be the Penguin spin-off, or there's going to be the Penguin.
No, you said
spin-off.
Penguins. There's going to be...
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you can't really say there's going to be the Penguin spin-off.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't I guess I didn't immediately assume we were talking about superhero stuff.
Right, you just thought I meant the bird.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like, what mad thing are the scientists up to now?
We need to climb out of the hole that was dug by the last conversation, I think. Because nothing means anything now, does it? There's going to be there's a Batman film coming out.
Okay, science has manufactured a spin-off to the Penguin, and here it is.
Yeah, okay, right. There's a Batman film coming out called The Batman. And the Penguin's going to be in it, or Penguin.
Right.
And they're doing a spin-off.
This guy's crazy.
Yes.
Yes, Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. And there's going to be a TV spin-off of that character.
Right.
So...
Call the Penguin?
I don't know. That's all that's been announced so far. There's obviously already a spin-off series in development about the Gotham PD. Mm-hmm. So before the films even come out, there are 2 spin-offs.
Yeah.
So it's reassuring in the sense that we can infer it's probably good. I'm not saying that everything that gets a spin-off is good.
No.
But it shows a degree of confidence in the property, doesn't it?
Well, certainly that. But that doesn't necessarily...
But look at like the Suicide Squad got a spin-off, and it's a good film.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad didn't. Batman v Superman didn't.
I mean, I know we're talking about films that exist in a quote-unquote continuity.
Yes.
When we talk about the DCEU.
Yeah.
But look at the plans for the DCEU originally, and how few of those came to fruition.
Yeah.
We're going to release all of these films, and then they release Batman v Superman.
Not so much.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Anyway, this is just to take us into a bigger topic.
Okay.
So that obviously made me think of just this whole fucking universe thing that's still happening.
It just keeps existing, you know?
Oh, okay.
You look up in the night sky, you're like, it's still there!
It made me think of the universe thing that's still happening. The universalization of properties, of cinematic properties. The MCU, of course, being the primary offender.
Yeah. Well, the progenitor.
The progenitor, yeah.
Really, kind of.
It's been a while since we talked about this, I think. Deliberately, we put an embargo on specific Marvel reviews after something.
Oh, God knows. Maybe one of the Spider-Men.
Yeah, I think so. I think we were talking about it every episode, essentially. Like, we need to stop talking about it.
Yeah, we don't even care about it. Why are we talking about it every episode?
We don't care about it, and we continue not to care about it, but we do care about the effects it has.
Yeah.
So, we were just kind of... This was, an off podcast conversation that we had, and then went, that was a podcast conversation. So we're bringing it to the podcast. So What If is currently airing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is shit.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't watched any of them.
Don't.
I really don't know.
It's crap. It's utter crap. It's sheer, wealth signaling.
Yeah, there's I don't know if this is inherent in the show at all.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll think it because your natural state of being is Marvel.
Yeah.
So maybe you think it does, and other people would go, "Oh, it's not like that at all."
Right.
But I think if you're doing a show that's just about you've accrued so much material over the years.
Yeah.
Oh, what if Iron Man was a zombie? What if Captain America wasn't?
Yeah.
You just let's just come up with a kooky whatever.
Could be anything.
You can't there's a smugness.
Yes, there is.
Inherent to that.
There is.
That is unavoidable. Even if the show itself is deliberately we are not a smug show.
Yeah.
The idea itself is so smug, I guess.
It is. It is smug. You would get occasional episodes of sitcoms like Friends that would be the What If episodes. And they're two-parters, and
because it's just we've done so much at this point.
Yeah, and everyone knows the characters so well.
Yeah.
But it's okay, sometimes they can be executed half decently, but it doesn't mean anything. It's not real. It doesn't advance the story, and you're wasting our time. It's just
right.
Do you know what I mean? Why have you made me sit through this? If you're gonna do what could have been.
Yeah.
You could do anything.
Yes.
Just show me what is. But yeah, then you went through yesterday what's the slate for this year. Stuff has already come out. And
we were talking about it just like, because we were going to do, we were debating whether we were going to do a Shang-Chi review.
Yeah.
Right? Which I think we're not going to do.
Probably not.
Certainly not for this episode, but not going forward.
Probably not.
The only reason I really wanted to do one, because we didn't do Black Widow.
No.
Again, not really. You kind of brought it up in that segment where we were talking about things we weren't going to talk about.
Right.
Because that's the type of podcast we do.
Yes.
But yeah.
No discipline in this dojo. Karate Kid thing.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, but that's still going?
Cobra Kai. Yeah, it's up for an Emmy.
They renewed season 5. They renewed it for season 5 before season 4 had even been.
That they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like, all right, you clearly, you going to keep this going.
Well, that feels a bit like junk foodie. I mean, the show itself is not that good anyway, but the fact that they just have all this, they have 4 films to go off, and so they're just bringing the characters back one by one.
Yeah.
Like they brought back Kreese. Now they're bringing back Ponytail Bloke from the 3rd one.
Right.
And they Hilary Swank, as a child actress, was in the 4th one.
Oh, right.
She's bound to pop up, isn't she?
Probably, yeah. I've heard mixed things about that. I've heard like I've heard a couple of people I know say that, oh yeah, I really liked it. And this is like someone who like wasn't familiar with the Karate Kid films going in, and then they kind of watched the films because of that. And they were like, oh yeah, this is a good thing. I like this.
Right.
And then there's another person I've spoken to who just thinks it's awful.
Right.
And watches it because of that.
Right.
Because it's just like every 5 minutes.
Hate watches it.
Yeah, like every 5 minutes, it's like, remember the Karate Kids?
Yeah.
As shameful as he put it. Shameful.
Well, yeah, like in the 3rd season, I think, he goes to Japan. Daniel, and he just bumps into the love interest in the second one.
Okay.
Literally. And then he just bumps into the villain.
Right.
It's like, it's Japan. I mean, I know it's Okinawa, but there's a lot of them.
Yeah. Well, Japan's?
A lot of Japans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah. Don't even bother.
Oh, God, if even you bailed out of it.
No, because there was actually nothing there.
Right, okay.
I started before there was anything.
Okay.
Which I know was a high wire act.
Yeah.
That I just had to bail out of instantly.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cobra Kai. Yeah. But, yeah, the 2021 slate.
For Marvel.
Yeah.
So this year alone.
Yeah.
What have we had? We've had Black Widow.
Yeah.
We had WandaVision.
Yeah.
We had Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We had Loki. We've got What If happening at the moment.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi's just come out.
Yeah.
The Eternals is coming out soon.
Yeah.
Spider-Man No Way Home
is
happening at the end of the year. Is there another TV show happening as well, or are we done with the
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye as well is coming out soon.
November. Yeah.
Just this year alone?
Yeah, just this year. Remember
what the fuck?
I think it started off as 2 films a year.
Yeah, and that was a bit like, okay.
Yeah.
Be nice if they took a break every now and again.
Yeah, exactly.
We got it up to 3, and it was like, right, this thing is in full swing at the moment.
Yeah.
But bloody hell.
That's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the thing I always think about is the story that I heard about when the end of Rome was near. They would flood the Colosseum and bring in ships so they could have... Ships.
Okay.
Yeah.
That might have been me.
Yeah. No, it might have been me. I don't know. So they could have naval battles in the Colosseum. Farcical decadence.
Yes.
Is what that is. It's just like pure access. Like, there's no way for this civilization to go now, but down.
Yeah.
And I just think that we had... Obviously, there are all these phases of the MCU and sagas or whatever it is. We were in the universe era where every studio was trying to get its own universe.
Yeah.
And we've kind of most failed, and then some stuck around. And then now we've moved into the multiverse era. That's next, where it's all possibilities, it's different realities.
Isn't that the function that What If is kind of serving at the moment?
Yeah.
Because my understanding of the show before was that it was just like a fun indulgence.
But it's canon.
But
somehow.
now it's canon.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I think.
Yeah.
Because they did an episode where it's like, what if Doctor Strange injured his heart instead of his hands or some bullshit like that?
Yeah, something like that.
And it's like an evil Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
And I think the idea is that Doctor Strange is going to be in either Doctor Strange 2 or the Spider-Man film that's coming out later this year.
Right. Okay, so all this stuff is happening.
Yeah. It's all canon.
Playing out in other universes. Yeah. It's all canon. Whatever that means. Because that's the thing now. If you say that's canon, well, all possibilities are canon then.
This is the problem as well. Like, whatever Spider-Man No Way Home ends up doing, at the very least, we're getting Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, de-aged.
De-aged.
Yeah.
We're also getting, quite possibly, William Dafoe Green Goblin.
It's Willem.
Is it not William?
No.
Why is it not William?
I don't know.
Why is he being awkward about it?
Yeah, it is, isn't it? No, Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very possibly getting Willem Dafoe the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
We're also, I think it's basically been confirmed, we're getting Jamie Foxx Electro.
Andrew Garfield, I think.
He's multiple times he said that he's not in it.
No, but yeah, it looks like he is.
Probably.
Yeah.
In all likelihood, he will be in it.
Yeah.
But at the very least, we know we're getting Dr. Octopus from Spider-Man 2.
Yes.
So, Spider-Man 2, a film that came out in 2004 and has no connection to this universe
whatsoever.
that didn't exist when that film came out, is now canon.
Yeah, there's got to be a word for that.
It's just appropriate, like, it's just swallowing. It's
a black hole. Yeah.
It's reached the point now where things that it didn't even do, are now part of its story.
Well, you know, the Day the Earth Stood Still. It's a 1950s sci-fi film,
right?
And I can't remember the name of the fucking big robot thing. Say it's like Krug. Okay. It's like a proper alien crappy name, right? And then in the remake, because that's way too like hokey, it became an acronym,
right?
You know, killer, blah 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 blah, advanced, whatever. And that was known as a backronym.
Oh, okay,
right. So there must be a version for doing that. Like, oh no, that was canon. Like back-cannoning. You know what I mean? Like canon backing.
Yeah. Back-cannon? Because you got backgammon.
Back-cannon.
Back-cannoning.
Back-cannoning. Back-cannoning.
Back-cannoning.
Yeah. We'll think about it. But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, swallowing up. Like, I felt like I've been cheated. Like, when I paid to go see Spider-Man 2, I wasn't aware that it was part of this elaborate
and crucially,
multiverse.
Nor did anyone involved in Spider-Man 2.
No, not for another 15 years, probably.
No, that's
Yeah, what is that?
What is that? And why? You know.
And what counts then? So Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi series is now officially part of the MCU.
Yeah.
What does that say about Blade and the Fantastic Four?
That's the thing. If you have, at some point in history,
yeah,
if you have made a Marvel movie, it is now canon to the MCU.
Right.
Or, like, we're going in that direction.
And it has to be. Because otherwise, I mean, the whole thing's fucked anyway.
Yeah.
But it just looks like having your cake and eating it. If you go, you know, oh yeah, we'll take Spider-Man and we'll take X-Men. We don't really want Fantastic Four.
Yeah, but you have to.
You have to. It's all or nothing.
And
because otherwise, it's so transparently picking and choosing. You know what I mean?
They somehow, though, they seem to have reached a point where they don't have to, like, explain themselves anymore.
Oh no.
Not even that, but they
don't have to justify it within the context of the art itself.
Well, so for example, Chris Evans played Captain America for a long time, and given the fact that they're making Iron Man 4, and it seems like Robert Downey Jr. is going to be in it in whatever capacity, it's possible that Chris Evans will play Captain America again one day, despite the fact that he was like, "No, I'm out."
Yeah,
they won't let you be out for long. You're coming back, Chris Evans. Yeah. But he also played Johnny Storm.
Yes.
In Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer. You'd think that would be enough for them to go, well, we can't bring Fantastic Four into it because how do we explain that? But it's reached the point now where they can just go, oh, alternate universe.
Right.
He just, for some reason, Steve Rogers was Johnny Storm.
Just looks the same.
Yeah.
Just a guy that looks similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not...
I'm sure there are multiple actors, actually, there must be loads. Well, it can't just be Chris Evans.
Yeah, but was it CinemaSins?
But he'd be the primary one, wouldn't he?
But there was one person who was like, oh no, I think it was Honest Trailers, where they pointed out that at the beginning of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, Captain America has a list of culture that he's missed out on.
Yeah.
That he has to since you've been in the thing, we should catch up on all of the stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things was Star Wars, which Samuel L. Jackson is in.
Right, okay.
So, wow, that must have blown his mind when he saw Nick Fury in Star Wars.
Okay.
But, it's not... Are we, is Marvel on a trajectory where one day, eventually, they can go, oh, Mace Windu is just Nick Fury in another universe?
I think they're on a trajectory towards implosion.
Well, that's, because my understanding with comic books, the sort of the cliche Is it a cliche? Maybe it's a cliche. We know nothing of comic books.
Not really.
What I do know of comic books, though, is that they tend to, every few years, have a universe canon reset.
Yeah.
Where they basically like, right, everything we've established, we're rewriting it.
Yes.
Because they've reached this point where it just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
There's too many characters. There's too many, like... There's like no problems left they can't overcome. Nothing's a threat anymore because you have so many people that are the best at so many things that no villain has any hope anymore. The Eternals, which is like the next film coming out, they're like gods, basically.
Yeah.
Like, oh, cool. Kang the Conqueror is going to have... They're not going to have a problem against him when combined with like Brie Larson's Captain Marvel and all of like the MCU around her.
Yeah.
One villain, one guy, like, oh, that's no threat anymore.
Yeah, it's the computer needs a reboot.
Yeah.
After a while, basically.
Yeah.
And it's definitely going in that direction.
Because now it's now reached the point where just any Marvel film that has ever existed, you should probably watch it because it's going to come up eventually.
Right. Unless they do just pick and choose.
But they can't.
No. Do you reckon...
No, but what they can do is they can go, but that one doesn't count.
That's what I mean.
The one thing I know about Shang-Chi... I was going to say, like, the reason that we didn't do Shang-Chi...
Yeah.
The only thing we really wanted to say about it was that it got a really, really positive reaction.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes audience scores have established this as like the highest rated superhero film ever. It's like 98% audience review. It's above everything. It's above Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's above the Suicide Squad. It's above the Dark Knight. It's above everything.
Review fluffing,
yeah. And it was just kind of like, okay, why?
Yeah, why this one?
Why this one? But we don't want to watch it.
I will, but I'm not paying for it.
No.
Yeah.
So we weren't able to watch it immediately. So it's like, we're just not going to bother talking about it.
Do you think? Obviously, was J. Jonah Jameson the first suggestion that there might be an alternate universe?
He's now clearly foreshadowing, but I thought that was just like a cute in-joke.
Absolutely. Are we going to get J. Jonah Jameson of the Raimi films in the new Spider-Man
Multiple
film?
J.K. Simmonses.
Yeah, so you'll get the Alex Jones one.
Yeah.
And that'll be one of his first signs that he's in a multiverse.
Right.
Is he's going to bump into...
himself.
No. The Spider-Man, because obviously Alex Jones...
Tobey Maguire's going to jump into him.
No. So Alex Jones, J.K. Simmons...
Yeah.
Is the guy that outed him. So I know that fucker.
Right.
And then all of a sudden he's going to see, J.K. Simmons with the hair and the mustache. He's going to go, aren't you? You look a lot like bloke that outed me.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about, kid? Whatever.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck off, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's great, isn't he?
Yeah, it's J.K. Simmons. So I think the next step after the multiverse era, however fucking long this lasts, is the crossover era.
Yeah.
It's where all of the properties...
Yeah.
MCU, DCEU...
Star Wars, if you want to do that.
Star Wars, yeah, why not? Disney's going to own everything.
Yeah.
So that's where we're going. And then it will implode. Not financially.
No.
It's not like it's going to overstay its welcome because people are going to forever lap up this shit. They just are. But I think on a creative level, if they even care about that, it's just going to get so overloaded. They're going to go, let's just go back to Blade. And it will happen.
But that's the thing, if you do reach the point where it's like Marvel, Star Wars team up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, Darth Vader's going to have a chance against Iron Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Luke Skywalker, like every superhero ever.
It's making me feel sick.
Versus Darth Vader.
It's making me feel sick. I'm feeling sick. I think it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm a fatty, but there's something about excess that just... I told you when I worked in Pound Stretcher.
Yes, yeah.
Just like stacking the shelves. I know that not one person's going to eat it, but just the thought that all of it's going to get eaten by people.
Yeah.
Like, it made me feel sick. And I watched the film about a drag queen earlier. I feel sick today. What happens is civilizations build, they grow to excess, and then they fall. Look at America. To be fair, America is. It's not because of its excess; it's because of its cowardice. But still, nothing's forever, and eventually they'll have to revert to standalones because people won't be able to keep all the things juggling in the air. Right. So he's right. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is this universe. You're actually asking idiots too much.
That's the thing. You're asking just people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But the fans that will just take whatever you give them.
Yeah.
You're really asking too much.
Yeah.
After a certain point.
Infinity War, how many films led up to Infinity? 20?
Yeah, it's not far from that.
Yeah. If you wanna get the most out of Infinity War, you have to watch 20 films first. It's like, whew, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll give it a shot just to see what all this is about. All right. So this year alone, you have to watch 9 TV shows, 3 films. Plus, in order to watch the final film that comes out this year, you need to watch 5 films that go as far back as 2001.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, hang on, slow down.
And if they incorporate everything, just watch everything we've ever done.
Yeah.
Which, let's face it, it's not a bad business move, is it? That's what we're building to.
Not. Yeah.
You've got to watch it all.
Yeah.
Go on, watch it all.
Because now that they own Fox, all of the X-Men stuff, they can put that into syndication and they can make money off that.
Yep.
So we properly own it now. So even if you only just go back and watch the X-Men, we're still making money off you.
It's just homework, isn't it? It just feels like homework. Yeah. This is the reading list.
I mean, it's the fact as well that this thing is forever growing and expanding. And I hear what you're saying about it's not going to last forever.
It'll last for a long time, though.
It'll last for a long time.
Yeah.
In all likelihood, the expansion of the MCU at this point, because I know multiple people have said superhero burnout is coming, you just watch. I genuinely think at this point, the MCU will continue to grow past our deaths.
I don't think
it will certainly continue to exist past our deaths.
Like Marvel and Marvel movies and stuff. Yeah. Absolutely.
Not even just the MCU will end, but they'll keep making Marvel movies.
Right.
The MCU.
You think that
will outlive us.
By the time we die, there will still be a continuity going back to Iron Man. Maybe.
And by extension now, Blade and Spider-Man.
But will it be like Bond? Maybe it's the same. I mean, maybe it's not.
That's where they have to end up, right? There's so much of it.
It just takes longer, that's all. There's so many fucking characters that we can't retire Blade and then cast a new Blade, but everyone else is the same.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have to end up doing it if they want to continue that.
Yeah,
growth.
Exactly.
But now you can't reboot Captain America, can you?
No.
So you're fucked for a while until you resolve all this shit.
Yeah.
Bond, at least it's just it's James Bond and a few other tropes.
Yeah.
With them.
It's kind of every James Bond film that comes out, it's sort of the same experience, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Some films are better than others, and some films do interesting things with Bond.
Yeah.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Skyfall.
Yeah.
You have a couple of outliers where it actually feels like they're using the character. They're doing something with that character.
Oh, look, I know that, life, it's just enjoy the thing while it lasts. Don't think about its relationship to all the things that come before it and after it, because, it's a horrible thought, but when I finally finish my watch list, there are going to be brilliant films made after I die.
Yeah.
It's going to continue. And it's you can't think about that. And with Bond, there's the Craig era, but you're not really thinking about, is that story going to end? And then you're just enjoying the film. And that's fine. But I just think with Marvel, they've made them so interconnected.
Yeah.
That's kind of impossible. You can't just shut off and enjoy the thing.
Yeah.
You have to think, I do anyway. I have to think about its relationship.
And it's kind of a shame because the films that tend to use the universe they've built up the most, the Spider-Man films in particular, they're the ones I tend to enjoy more.
Yeah,
because it feels like it's not just it's not window dressing. They're actually this continuity that they've built, this shared universe they've built.
Yeah.
Has a purpose. Just little details like the bank robbers are wearing Iron Man and Hulk masks.
Yes.
It's that feels like he's living in that universe.
Yeah.
And the fact that Michael Keaton, hello.
Indeed.
The reason that he becomes a villain is because after the Avengers and the city's destroyed, Michael Keaton kind of accrues the contracts to rebuild parts of the city, and Tony Stark takes those off him.
Yeah.
So he starts building weapons using Stark material as revenge. You're using the universe.
We talked about it yesterday, didn't we? And those things appeal to you because yes, they are using it. and I'm torn. On the level of, Sam, we've hired you to write Spider-Man, I would absolutely do that. Put in as much little things as you can to suggest that it's in this continuity.
Yeah.
But on a viewing level, I don't want to fucking think about all that other stuff. I want to... Let's assume... Okay, so we're imagining that you're a bullshitter.
Okay.
We'll imagine that I'm a normal, hardworking person.
Right.
So
that one might take a while for
It might take a while. I come home from work. I just want to chill out, sit down, enjoy a thing that ends.
Yes.
Like, I just don't want to think about Captain America when I'm watching Spider-Man. Do you know what I mean? So, but I get it. Like, I know why you like them more, but it makes me like them less. Just leave it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Just show me Spider-Man.
Well, I don't like films that are just like, oh, look, that one girl from the Black Widow movie's in it for like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Like in Shang-Chi, I haven't seen it, obviously, but there's like a scene where Abomination from The Incredible Hulk fights Benedict Wong, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Like they fight and then they just like go their separate ways.
Yeah, it's tokenistic.
Yeah, it's like, what is the point of that?
Right. So the terminus at which we've arrived is that the MCU has become a soap opera.
It really has, yeah.
So, because it ironically has no end game, sure I did that. In fact, the fact that film is called Endgame, is there a better way of illustrating how perverse the whole thing is?
Yeah.
That you call that Endgame and it's just a stepping stone.
Not even
to
that.
the next point.
Not even that, but you had Endgame and then you had Far From Home.
Right.
Which is the actual coda to that era.
Yeah. What better way of the end? That's part one. You know. But because of that, it's hard to invest in any of it. I think so, anyway. Like, we talked about this, that life is enjoyable because it's finite.
Yeah.
Because you know everything has an expiration date. You savor it. And I know at best I've got like 80 years on this planet. I could die tomorrow, but it's not going to be in 100 years.
Yeah.
Odds are I probably have a generally good sense of my mortality. Can you really say that about Marvel? Can you say you have a general sense of where it's going and when it might end? I'm not saying like a date or like, oh, it all ends here. But like I said, you start a TV show when you're 26. You go, I'm probably going to be alive to see the end of this TV show.
Yeah.
I know that it's going to pay off. I'm investing in something that's going to pay off. What's the payoff to Marvel?
Yeah.
When will the interminable fucking story end?
It was Endgame.
It was Endgame, yeah.
Now, we don't know when this era of Marvel is going to end, but we know that like Kang the coke.
What did you say that? What did you say?
Kang the cool, Kang the.
Is that what you said?
Kang the kooky.
Is that what you said?
Well, you said he was like Joker, right? That he was like kooky.
Yeah.
I saved it. Kang
the Conqueror.
Kang the Conqueror. I don't know. I'm just trying to. I'm desperately trying to insert levity into this because it's depressing me.
Go elsewhere for levity.
But yeah,
we're like skirt around that with the next topic.
Yeah, like Kang the Conqueror. We know that he'll be like the big bad of the next Endgame, but we've no idea how long we've got to wait until the next Endgame.
And then what? It'll be another one.
And then it'll be another one, yeah.
It'll be another one.
But yeah, like when the MCU was like building up, there was a sense that it was building to something.
Yeah.
And now there's just so much of it that it's more about just keeping on top of it than about actually considering the direction that it's going in. It's just like, oh, here's more of it, here's more of it, here's more of it. But like, yeah, all of the people, not just the people who can like genuinely love it and who consume everything and who do keep on top of it and are building an encyclopedic knowledge of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as it goes. But the people behind it, the people who are creating it, like, does Kevin Feige realize that he will die before this does? Like, he's focused on just like building it and maintaining it, but like you will eventually, this thing will outlive you.
Maybe. Well, I mean, define outlive. As in, like, just the property will continue after he's gone.
Well, the property will absolutely continue past him.
The MCU now. But not just the characters, but the MCU.
Yeah, that continuity may very well outlive you, Kevin Feige. Do you not want...
Well, is that not the aim?
Well, that's my question.
That's what people want,
does he
isn't
not
it?
want to end the MCU? Not in the sense that, like, oh, you know, it's like, it's time to finish it. But like...
To see his creation come to fruition.
For closure's sake. Like, this is it. I have made the definitive article of superhero-ness.
Or we're like, part of wanting to be an artist is, or filmmaker. You make a film and then you've cemented your legacy. That film will outlive you. It will be there after you're gone.
Yeah.
Is his version of that the fact that it continues?
It might
not
be.
just what the products that he's created, but the fact that the thing itself will endure. Like Walt Disney, his legacy.
Yeah.
It's just going to continue. Maybe it's that. Maybe he doesn't care about... Maybe to him it's not about creating this perfectly architectured, refined thing. It's about starting something that never ends.
Yeah, building an infrastructure that will just continue without him.
Yeah.
It might
like he is the God of the New Testament.
Maybe.
Yeah.
In which case we've got to descend the ladder now back down to the audience.
Right.
Mr. MCU Encyclopedia Man.
Yes.
Who's like, I watch all the Marvel films. I love all the Marvel films. I see their flaws or whatever, but like it's my thing. It's my jam. It's like do you realize that there's a strong possibility you will not see the end of it.
Yeah.
All of these characters that you're being introduced to, all of the stories that you're being introduced to, everything that they're going through, you will not see the end of it.
Yeah, you're being strung along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it really, that's like quite, like when I realized that, and I'm not saying that this is going to happen, it might very well be a case that like in like 10, 20 years from now, the MCU's over.
Yeah.
There'll be Marvel films, but like that's over. That experiment's over.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, when you kind of think like, oh shit, this thing is so titanic and has such momentum.
It actually can't stop.
It actually can't stop. And I will not see the end of, I might not see, what's his fucking name? Tom Holland. I might not see Tom Holland's final Spider-Man film.
I know what you mean. I mean, obviously there's always that possibility, but also the older you get, the more things you realise are going to outlive you.
Yeah.
Yeah, much my cousins and stuff. Oh yeah, I'm going to die before you do, probably.
It's different though from like James Bond or like Sonic the Hedgehog, for example, which is the thing that like that I love Sonic.
Yeah. Do you?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if you knew.
Calm down. Yeah.
But I love the games. I'm always like gonna pick up a game when it comes out. Though they will continue to release Sonic games after I'm gone.
Yes, probably.
Probably. But it's weird because like that's just an ongoing pop culture property. There is no like overarching continuity.
Yeah, right.
It's like every game, it's like its own thing. I can live with like I had those games when I was alive, and there'll be games afterwards, and like that's fine. But with the MCU, because it's so becoming so interconnected, and because it is swallowing everything around it, it is the fact that like, damn, I'm not going to see the end of this.
Do you have
why bother? You know?
Yeah. In your
genuinely,
most
why bother?
Selfish moments, do you ever think, I wish that we all died at the same time so that I'd never have to have FOMO while I'm alive, that I'm going to miss films and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
I always think that.
Yeah.
Like, I wish that like my death marks the end of cinema. It's such a sad day for the industry.
Like, can you imagine dying the day before Parasite came out?
Exactly. Like, and there's going to be parasites after we're gone.
Yeah.
So I always think that, like, oh, can you just end it? Or like the whole thing just crumbles while we're alive, so that we can finish it.
Yeah,
we can actually finish cinema. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I absolutely have those thoughts.
Yeah, but then you go, oh, nah, should probably let them crack on with it. Really.
Yeah, like
I'm not that important, am I?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's like, well, you know, if you want to make good stuff, go on.
The thing with Marvel is you're not being invited and you're not being promised anything. Whereas any TV show or film on its own, there's an implicit promise, like invest in this and you'll see a return on your investment. Whatever that is, you'll laugh, you'll cry, and you'll see a story end. That's the ultimate. That's why I've never understood soap operas. It's not, what are you doing? It is trying to emulate life. Yeah. So in your life, consume art that ends. You like, don't just tune into this parallel reality. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, there's no promise being made. And so that's why I don't understand how people can just throw their money at it. It is just like going on dates constantly and go, is this going to be it? Are we ever going to like be a couple? Are we ever going to stick together? We're just going on dates here. And it's like, I'm just wasting away my time. Do you know what I mean? It's like, there's no sense of that with the MCU. There's no sense of finality. And I think you need a suggestion of that.
Yeah.
You know?
You need a promise. You need
a promise.
Certainly now, because we've expressed our concern of it's like, despite the fact that we like have just said that it has like full blood, it's like the momentum of this thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like a direction. Like I said, we don't know how far away the next endgame is.
No.
We haven't like properly met the villain yet.
But here's another consideration.
Yeah.
How do you end the MCU?
That as well.
At this point, you can't. If you're not ending it with Endgame, you're not ending it.
Yeah.
So it's inevitable. Like, the balloons can't infinitely expand. What happens when they reach breaking point? They burst.
Yeah.
They don't go, and simmer down. Or just stop.
Yeah.
Is the MCU just going to let it swell and then stop? No. It's going to go too far and it's going to burst. And they're going to have to reset and recalibrate.
Yeah.
So everything you're buying into won't end. It'll just get too big for its own good and fall in on itself.
It will either get so big that they have to course correct.
Yeah.
Or it will outlive you.
Yeah. But, the first will come either way. There's no way this goes on forever and ever. And then 90 years.
The first is coming. Whether you'll be alive to see it is a different question.
Yeah. But whatever. Even if you are alive to see it, it's not going to end well. So just bow out now. Bow out now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's everything we have to say, right?
Yeah, it's a soap opera. It will outlive you. Nothing matters. Fuck the
Watch
universe.
Parasite. Yeah.
Watch Parasite. Yeah.
And that is that.
Okay.
Should we do a film review?
Okay. Yeah. Let's end with a film review. This is the last one. We promise.
The Candyman can.
Candyman.
What?
What can the Candyman can?
I don't know. I'm a bit confused actually about the Candyman.
That's the review, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So me and Sam, we just watched the Candyman. We watched the Candyman. We acknowledged that we watched the Candyman.
Yeah.
And we started recording.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So the Candyman. What is the Candyman?
The film?
Yeah.
Well,
the whole damn thing. What is the Candyman?
Okay, so Candyman was a 1992 slasher movie that was kind of socially conscious, and it was about the ghetto and the projects and all that. It was a horror movie about this urban legend called Candyman.
Yeah?
What?
Urban?
What?
Urban?
What am I missing here?
I don't know.
Oh, because like urban man.
Yeah, because
right,
like, you know, if you...
Well, no, it's literally an urban legend, isn't it?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, an urban legend. It was like a bloke that was the son of a slave that then painted people. He was an artist that painted white people.
Right.
And they loved him for that. But then he fell in love with a white woman and they lynched him and they killed him with bees. And then he became this ghostly murderer.
Right.
And if you say it, for some reason, if you say his name 5 times in the mirror, he'll kill you.
Yeah.
Right. So there was a film in 92 that neither of us have seen. And then this Candyman, same title, is a sequel in a sense.
Yeah.
Well, it is. It is a sequel to the original.
Annoyingly.
Because
they're both just called Candyman.
They're both called Candyman. Kind of a Blade Runner job. Is a sequel, but kind of a soft reboot at the same time. So the film is about an artist, a black artist, who is struggling for inspiration and finds out about the urban legend, paints a picture of it. He's like, I'm now artistically inspired. And starts uncovering the truth about Candyman as Candyman returns.
Sort of through him. And then you find out there's a connection to the first film. And I'll say spoilers because we don't really know a lot of what happened. So, like, we might have to just talk about it. Yes.
Kind of, but yeah, like, the main character was a baby in the first film.
It is revealed.
Yes, we don't know that going in. Was going to be sacrificed by Candyman and was rescued by the main character of that film. But doesn't know about his history.
Because we're initially led to believe that main character was going to sacrifice the baby.
Yes, but she saved the baby.
Yeah.
And now he's grown up, doesn't know about his past. His mother, kept it from him that he grew up in. Is it Caprini Green? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
This projects, whatever, tower block.
Like gentrified.
Gentrified. Yeah. It's in Chicago. That's the plot. Thoughts?
I don't know, in all honesty.
Yeah.
I don't know what my thoughts are.
Well, what can we say about it?
Well,
we can say that I think it's fair to say it's handsomely mounted. It's a nice looking film.
Is it?
Well, not like beautiful, but it's all right. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just kind of... It looks nicer than Worth, I'll give it that.
Yeah.
But it just looks...
Well, it's Jordan Peele.
Yeah, it looks like a film.
Okay.
Like a well-shot film.
Yes.
But it looks like a well-shot film.
Fine, but it is well shot.
Sure.
It just doesn't stand out for you necessarily.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just trying to give it its credit where I can.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look at this film cinematography, you go, that is cinematographed.
Right. Yeah.
Competently. It is not
Well,
ugly.
I'd say it's a slight step. The Trial of Chicago 7 is cinematographed.
Right.
This is a step above that, I would say, just about.
Okay. Off the top of my head, I would not use it as an example
No.
of cinematography.
But
really.
it has some nice imagery in it.
Sure.
I'll give it, like the opening scene where the Candyman emerges through a hole in the wall and everything.
Yeah.
Some nice stuff in there.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Yeah, that's it for the good stuff, I think.
Well, is the... yeah.
Right, what's the problem that we're having? What is the source of the problem?
We don't know what it is.
We don't know what Candyman is.
Yeah. Well, we know it's a horror film.
Oh, no, that's... Yeah. Okay.
This is what we might have to do. We might have to start with, objectively it's this, and let's build from there.
Okay.
It's objectively a horror film.
Yes.
It objectively contains social commentary.
Yes.
Of this, we both agree.
Yes. It's about race. It's about gentrification. Class. Those kinds of things.
Yes.
And art.
Police brutality.
All black stuff. It's about black themes, right?
It's a black film.
It is a black film.
From black people.
Yes, it's a black movie, yeah. It's about partly how artists, as they say, descend upon disenfranchised neighborhoods.
Right.
And kind of appropriate the trauma of that for their art.
Okay.
And it's like, what right do you have to do that? But obviously he finds out that he's actually connected to
This is the thing. Okay, that is a point that can be made.
Yes.
But we find out that the artist who's doing that has a connection to that neighborhood.
Yes, but when he did the art, when he made the art, then he didn't know that. So it would be a fair criticism.
He didn't know that.
Yeah.
But it was actually his story to exploit.
No. Yeah, ultimately it was. But when that criticism is levied, it's a fair criticism, isn't it?
But the reveal that he is...
It doesn't undermine it, because...
That's what I'm asking. Does it?
Oh, no. Not that particular criticism, because it's all about the knowledge. He didn't know that, and so you can't then say, oh, but technically he was.
Right.
So it counts. It's like me, I don't know, writing like an exploitation thing about Native Americans, and it turns out I've got some in my DNA.
Right.
So I didn't know that. So,
okay.
My problem, well, other than not really knowing what's going on, my biggest problem with the film is it's such a rarefied critique. They're criticizing black artists, especially going into disenfranchised neighborhoods. Who's this film for? That's the question I had watching it. Who's it for?
Yeah.
It's not for slasher fans, because there's barely any of that in it.
There's 3 kill sequences?
Yeah, and they're not that inventive or gory. Or,
like 3 kill sequences and the finale.
And the finale, yeah. It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not scary.
No, it's absolutely not scary.
No. I was never on edge or uneasy or anything.
No.
There are no jumps, really.
There are. Like, they try to do jump scares.
Okay, well, none worked.
None worked, but they do attempt.
So if you're into that kind of horror movie, you're not going to get that.
No.
If you're in for like a Jordan Peele type horror movie, it's not that either.
No, I said to you, like, I thought that one of the things that Jordan Peele did well is that he writes horror films where the main characters act logically.
Right.
People will call the police.
Yes.
And shit like that.
Yeah.
Whereas in this film, Candyman Man... No, not Candyman Man. Main character man who becomes Candyman.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
He gets stung by a bee. A Candyman bee. And the Candyman bee turning him into a Candyman.
Yeah.
And his hands, like, crusting over and falling apart.
Yeah.
And it takes him like basically the whole film before he decides to go to hospital.
Yeah.
And I thought like in a Jordan Peele movie, I feel like the main character would have just gone to the hospital as soon as he noticed that his B hand was like falling apart.
Jordan Peele movies like Get Out, I'm not a big fan of. I know everyone else is.
But you like Us.
I like Us. But Get Out is... I know what it's doing. And it's entertaining, and it's... I know what it's doing. I know what it's trying to do. Us is entertaining, and it does have that social commentary stuff going on. This is just way too academic. It's way too academic to entertain. It's not entertainment.
No,
it's a film that's making points, and it is trying so hard to be like consistent in its thesis that you end up getting totally lost. Right? Okay, so Candyman is an idea that recurs, and he's becoming Candyman, but there's the other Candyman, and it's like emblematic of the black trauma.
This is the thing.
But he was stung by the bee, so what does that mean?
Yeah.
And it's all just like imagery, and it reminds me a bit of Stoker. It's not as image heavy and like, ooh, what's that, as Stoker. But it's like, it's trying too hard to be... It's like someone read it for Stoker, like someone read a Wentworth Miller actually, read a Jungian textbook and went, yeah, I'll do that. And this feels like reading a Ta-Nehisi Coates article and going, yeah, I'll do that.
Right, okay.
It's just like, what?
Yeah, because you have moments like in the beginning where like the gay couple, the mixed race gay couple, go to what becomes the main character.
Yeah.
And his wife, who's the sister of one of the gay guys.
Yes.
And they reveal that like they're living... The projects from the first film have become gentrified tower blocks in which they are living.
Yeah.
And she's
they're
like,
kind of sellouts.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, the white people built the ghetto just so they could tear it down because all they want to do is like renovate around it.
Yeah. And he's like here.
The white guys are like here, for example.
Yeah.
Calling her out.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, it's like calling them out.
Right.
But then like it's so... The film commits so much to like police brutality. Like there is no redeeming police officer in this film.
No.
Every single one of them is like killing black people unjustly, and they are manipulating survivors into telling their version of events.
Yes.
The police version of events, I mean. No redeeming police officers at all.
No.
So it's like, okay, so like I guess both sides are bastards. But then you've got the fact that like it's revealed that there have been Candymen going far back as the original Candyman was killed by bees.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So there's the original Candyman that was a slave, either a slave or a slave son, I can't remember.
Yeah.
And he was killed by bees. And Tony Todd, the original Candyman, right?
Yeah.
But then this film starts with like another origin story. The kid in the 70s seeing a bloke, I think his name is Sherman, who was a Candyman, who like lived in the projects.
Yeah.
And he comes out and he gives the kid some sweets, and he's got a hook for a hand. And the kid screams out of fear. And the police hear it, who are, being cunts and patrolling the estate. and
protecting them from the crime.
And then they come in and they beat the bloke, like 100 of them.
Yeah.
Beat the bloke, like where'd they come from?
Yeah.
Beat the bloke to death. And like, right. So I thought, have they just rewritten the Candyman origin story?
Yeah.
And made it more contemporary. It's a black guy killed by police, right? But no, there are multiple Candymen.
Yes.
Right? Okay, there's something to like the idea of it's the trauma carries on through generations, so like it accrues Candymen.
Well, that's what I thought.
But
oh, go on. Sorry.
No, that's the final. Okay, fine. That inherently, but why he had a hook and he gave out sweets? It's too like.
Oh yeah, he was like a Candyman without actually being a Candyman.
Yeah, and he had a hook. He was just a bloke who didn't have a hand.
Yeah,
he had a hook for a hand. What is the... Do they all have to be like that? Do they all have to have hooks for hand? Is it a coincidence? If the black people are victims of massive trauma...
Because that guy was alive because he was killed by the police.
Yeah.
So he wasn't the spirit of the Candyman.
No, he's just a bloke. A creepy bloke in the wall.
Yeah.
When they're killed, must they have a hook already? Can they develop the hook afterwards when they're ghosts?
Well, no, because the main character of this film, spoilers...
Yeah.
He becomes possessed by the Candyman, and someone saws off his hand and gives him a hook.
So are they all possessed by the Candyman?
Well, I thought, like...
Because the first one that we see in the film isn't. He's killed by the police, and then just becomes a Candyman.
Because it's like a subversion, right?
Yeah.
We're shown that scene, but we're not shown the whole scene. So we're led to believe that this kid is killed by the Candyman.
Yeah.
And then they show it a little later on. It turns out, like, it was a misunderstanding and the police killed him unjustly. But yeah, I thought that, like, the idea... From what the film was telling me, my assumption was Candyman, when black people are victims of horrible...
racist violence.
Violent, horrible, painful, unjust experiences, they become Candyman.
Or some of them do, for some reason.
Yeah, so, like, for example, that guy who was killed by the cops.
I guess just on that state, right?
Yeah.
You have to be from Cabrini Green.
Well, I don't know.
Because they're all there, aren't they?
Well, I don't know if the first Candyman, I don't know where he was.
Yeah, didn't someone say that Coleman Domingo, the laundromat bloke, doesn't he say he was killed right by near with the...
Oh, yeah. No, actually, he does, yeah.
So, okay, to be fair, they're all from Cabrini
Yeah, because I was going to say, the way the film sets up, it's like, oh, George Floyd could become a Candyman.
Yes.
But I don't think... Yeah, the fact that they're, like, limiting it to that estate, it's like, okay.
He hasn't got the physical stamina to be Candyman, I don't think.
Oh, does he? Oh, no, I suppose not, yeah. But he can't breathe.
Hell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
Couldn't breathe before he was on the floor, mate. Just saying.
Right.
Well, one of the criticisms of the first one was like, oh, black villain, blah, blah. And the blowback was, like, I think the director said, I don't know if it was a he or she, had to meet with the NAACP.
Right.
To, like, go, is this film okay? And apparently most of them were like, yeah, duh. What's wrong with having a black villain? Why can't we have a black Hannibal Lecter, a black...
Yeah.
But the whole point of this film is they're not villains. White is the villain. Whiteness and white people.
White people are the bad... Because the Candyman in this film exclusively kills white people.
Yes.
Because this is confusing as well. Yeah, so I thought that, like, the idea was that, like, they were the victims of... If you're a black person who is the victim of racist, violent attacks, you become a Candyman.
Right.
And I guess the film kind of backs it up because the only people we see getting killed are white people.
Yeah.
But then there's a flashback to like a young black kid whose like brother locks him out of the room and they summon the Candyman and get killed by him, but they're black.
Yeah, are they...
also this idea that like the Candyman, he like disperses justice. He's like the equalizer, right?
Yeah.
He dispenses justice against unjust white people.
Right.
But he has to be summoned.
Yes, he has to be summoned. Never made clear why, by the way. I don't know why the mirror thing is a thing, but fine, it is what it is.
Like that's the practice in terms of like how the Candyman operates when he's actually there.
Yeah,
I was fine with that.
Yeah, fine. That's an interesting kind of idea.
Like he exists in the mirrors. He never comes into the real world.
No.
He exists only in the mirrors.
No,
and he kills. So long as you're generating a reflection, he kills the reflection.
And then you just die in the real world.
Because you and the reflection are the same entity.
Yes.
Now, because the reflection is dead, you are now dead.
Yes.
Fine.
Yeah.
Okay. And like he cannot hurt you if there are no reflections.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
As far as like a horror villain goes,
yes,
I understand that.
Yeah.
Because he can be combated, but he's also like when you actually pay attention to how many reflections there are in the world, you're like, oh shit, he's actually really powerful.
But yeah, is he an angry black guy revenging upon white people?
Yeah.
Or is he bound to kill anyone who utters his name in the mirror 5 times? And if so, why?
Because, like, the wife of the main character, at the end of the film, summons the Candyman.
Yeah.
And he doesn't kill her. He only kills the white cops.
Yeah, he exercises restraint.
Yeah.
Whereas the main character says Candyman in the mirror 5 times. And he becomes him. He doesn't die.
Yes.
But is he the only one that is exempt from that because he is the future Candyman?
Very quick sidebar.
Yeah.
That moment was when I realised the horror wasn't working. I don't know about you.
When he was saying it in the mirror.
Well, he says it in the mirror. Well, he says he's looking out of a window.
Oh, window,
right?
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, it's dark outside, so it's basically a mirror. He says Candyman in the mirror 5 times, nothing happens.
Yeah.
And him and the wife start like doing the thing that man and wife do in the films where they're like falling over each other like
yeah.
Like making out and stuff. And it cuts back to the wide shot and you see the Candyman in the mirror.
I didn't even notice.
Oh, do you not?
No.
Okay.
I thought it was like an Invisible Man thing where I was meant to be looking for it, but he wasn't there yet.
Ah, right.
But he was there.
No, if you look sort of off to the right, it's sort of like the bent neck lady in the 6th episode of Hill House.
Okay.
in the funeral, where like if you're paying attention,
right,
you can see her in the background.
Okay,
but she's never focused on.
Okay, it's like that.
It's like that,
right?
Because that's supposed to be like a creepy, like, oh my god, it's the Candyman,
right?
But I saw him, I was like, oh, there he is. It's like, right, the horror's not working.
Was it the same Candyman killing all of them? Was it Tony Todd killing all of them?
I think so.
Because I know Tony Todd plays Candyman in it, and he's the last Candyman that we see.
Yeah.
But you never really see his face when he's killing people.
No.
They always kind of keep it. And in the final shot, he's been de-aged.
Right.
He's been digitally to look like he did in the first one.
I see.
Because Tony Todd now would be like in his 60s.
Right.
So they've de-aged him. So I'm thinking he wasn't the Candyman for all of... Because the bloke that kills... Oh, fucking hell. See, it's so complicated.
Yeah.
The one that kills little black boy's sister was Wall Candyman. He says, Sherman? And he goes, and he's smiling at him. So it's not all the one... It's not the original Candyman. There are multiple Candyman.
Yeah.
So when I say Candyman... I'll do now. Candyman, 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 Candyman. Nothing happened.
No.
Does it have to be Tony Todd? Does it have to be Tony Todd, or could it be any of them?
I suppose it'd be any Candyman.
Do you know what I mean? How's that decided?
But no, the fact that they've, like, there's a new Candyman, like the main character becomes a Candyman, implies that, oh, we need a new Candyman? It's like a passing of the torch for the Candyman?
Yeah, anything supernatural.
But there's a Candyman in this film.
Yeah, there already is one,
Yeah.
What's so special about main character
That's
Candyman?
the thing, I thought, the Candymen represent the trauma of black people.
Yeah.
Right?
And there isn't one. There
are multiple Candymen. So, like, anyone could... I know it's, like, within a specific, like, postcode.
Yeah.
But, like, anyone could become a Candyman.
Yeah.
Because that's, like, that trauma that leads to Candymen still exists in modern society. How fucking disgusting is that? But the fact that this specific guy, that he has a connection to the first film...
Yeah.
Implies that there needs to be a very specific set of circumstances for there to be a Candyman.
No, look, there was a very brief debate about, well, we could just be idiots. Do we just Google what was happening?
Yeah, we didn't bother Googling.
No. It's like, do we just go straight into the review? Like, no, let's just go straight into because it would be, well, dishonest for one. But, like, yeah, this could be simple and we're missing something, but I really don't think it is.
We could Google it and go like, oh, right, okay, that's what it is.
Makes total sense.
But I do feel like it's worth capturing
the confusion. Well, like
this is what the film did to us.
Yeah, I know anything. Yeah, like cats. I know that anything supernatural or mystical. When you start thinking about it for too long, like what are the rules? It's going to fall apart. But you shouldn't be thinking about it in the first place. Is the thing
you shouldn't, and it's frustrating because the actual Candyman kill scenes are when it makes the most sense. Yeah, like he just needs a reflection to kill you.
Yeah, like that part, but. That thing of like, okay, if there's multiple Candymen, which one is summoned? And I shouldn't be thinking about that.
No.
The film should be doing its job well enough that even if it doesn't make sense, I don't care because it's so good. And you don't. It's so confusing. Like I said, it's like an academic thesis.
And why? Why are there multiple Candymen?
I guess just because it's a nifty idea that, oh no, the black thing goes on. It's not...
Yeah.
It's not just this one bloke. It's all of us, right? Because the final line of the film, she summons the Candyman, which is her husband.
Yeah.
He kills all the cops. Lets one cop go.
Yes.
And then, he says, like, I am the... Well, that's the thing, isn't it? The ultimate endpoint is, I am the buzzing in the alleyways. Like, I am black. And...
doing the little gang signs.
Doing the little gang sign. I am black. I am blackness incarnate. And then she walks past... fence and she sees the original Candyman who's just all buzzing with bees.
Yeah.
And then he says to her, tell everyone.
Yeah.
And that's the end.
Tell them what?
Yeah.
What? Because that's a line to the audience, right?
Yes.
It's like the
final, tell everyone, like, be activisty for something.
Yeah, because the film ends with like if you want to know more about racial injustice, go to candyman.co.uk.
Candymanmovie.com, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that, like, what's happening in those projects and the fact that the cops...
This is everything wrong with black-white relations in a microcosm. Tell everyone.
Yeah, like, look what the cops just tried to do to you.
Yeah.
Even though a black guy actually engineers all of it.
He does.
Yeah, that we haven't even talked about him.
No.
So there's a guy who works in a laundromat that has lived on that estate, those projects. I'll just say estate because it's easier.
Right.
Lived on that estate since the 70s.
He's in the cold open where we think he's been killed by the Candyman, and then it turns out that's
it's
not
the bloke
case.
giving him sweets, and then the police kill him. And he's like, oh. And then he grows up on the estate. He bumps into the main character who's there being all appropriatey. And he tells him his story of Candyman. And then he goes back there later in the film and he says, oh no, there's loads of Candyman. It's all real, man. And then he kidnaps him and his wife and he makes him into a Candyman. At this point, the bee sting has kind of spread around all of his body and he's all cracky.
Yeah.
And he cuts his arm off because crack cocaine.
Well, no, because black don't crack. It's ironic.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I thought you meant the crack cocaine epidemic. And
the fact that every black person takes it.
And he cuts his arm off and he doesn't feel it.
No.
So there's obviously something supernatural.
Yeah, he's like, the Candyman has inhabited him.
So like, why it matters even that he needs to do this.
Yeah, because there's a sequence earlier in the film where he sees the Candyman in a mirror.
Yeah.
And him and the Candyman are reflecting each other
They
perfectly.
are one, yeah.
But like the Candyman is not... The Candyman is mirroring him. It's not like
the end of the film, right? He kidnaps the wife, I guess, just to bear witness to it. I don't know.
Yeah, because he says like, finally, a witness.
Yeah.
And then like the finale
The
happens.
audience, basically.
Yeah.
And he... Yeah, why does he kidnap her? It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe it is so that she'll witness the unjust killing of her husband.
Yeah.
So she'll understand. The woman who at the beginning of the film was like, oh, white people built the ghetto just so they could kick it out because they don't care about
she needs to be more of a zealot.
She needs to be educated into the horrors of white people.
So he kidnaps the husband and then So at this point, this is one of the many confusing things. If he's becoming possessed by Candyman, he's just going to become him anyway.
Yeah.
Film's like, oh no, he also needs to have the hook. That can't just happen. So the guy gives him a hook.
He says something like, you can make your own story, but some details have to stay the same. And then he cuts off his arm.
Like the hook is needed.
Yeah, the hook is needed.
Yeah, not the candy, but the hook. And then...
Yeah, the Candyman doesn't need candy.
Yeah.
No, he gives him lollipops.
Oh, that's right.
Because he's like, do you want a lollipop?
Right, that's right.
And then she runs out and he's like, wait, where are you going?
Yeah. So he kidnaps them and then... So basically, I guess he wants the main character to be killed so he can become Candyman.
Yeah.
But he's becoming Candyman anyway. This is the thing that's confusing.
Yeah, he's already possessed by Candyman.
Yeah. He doesn't have the hook, but why does he also need to be killed then?
Killed by because it's the unjust... Like, it's...
Yeah, no, I get that bit, but why the possession then? What is that achieving?
I guess he's like... He's still an appropriator at this point. Like, he actually needs to go through that suffering.
Do you know what I mean, though?
To truly become Candyman. So the amount of fucking, like... It just felt like I was watching Velvet Buzzsaw again. Oh. The amount of sequences where you've got, like, white people going, oh, yes, you really captured the essence of the...
I said, didn't I, going in, I predict a scene where a white person is, like, racist in a very not obvious racist way.
Racist through, like
assumption or being nice or something.
Yeah.
It's like that woman says to him...
Delivering an essay at them, and it's like, oh, you're a,
Yeah, she says, oh, that's what your kind do, isn't it? Yeah. And he goes, what? She goes, artists.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah.
And you're supposed to go, oh, I thought she was going to be racist then.
Yeah. And she kind of probably is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she isn't she? Because, like, it's like get out racism, which is, I know they end up being actual, but the thing of, well, we vote for Obama twice. It's that, like, cheery racism, which to me is like, what do you fucking want?
Yeah.
What do you want? Why isn't that good? They want you to know that they're okay with you. And yeah, it might be awkward or whatever, but for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Like, anyway, it's that kind of thing where she's like, because she's not that interested in him at first, and then it becomes notorious, so she does become interested. That's like she's being racist.
Yeah, that somehow justifies the fact that Candyman needs to kill her.
Yeah.
But like she's an art critic, right?
Yeah.
And she goes to see his work, which is frankly pretentious.
All of them are. The biggest problem of the film.
Oh yeah, who's in the right?
There's not one likable character.
No.
There are no likable characters.
There are no likable characters, and I have no idea who is quote unquote in the right. Is the Candyman?
No, she is.
She is.
So generally speaking,
the wife.
Yeah. We're with him,
right?
But we know that he's flawed, and compromised, and then he starts learning about this. Obviously, he becomes threatening to her. She's already got those ideas, but they're not concretized somehow. and she's the one to take the message of the film forward.
Okay.
But yeah, we're meant to be kind of on her side. And I think, the woke audience are obviously going to like her. We didn't.
No.
And we didn't like any of it because she's a pretentious wanker as well.
Yeah.
They all are. The way they talk about everything. It's like, forget who's on the right. Who am I supposed to like at least?
Exactly, yeah.
I don't like the main character. I don't like the wife. I don't like Candyman, obviously.
Yeah.
But it turns out he's alright.
I guess.
Because white people deserve it. I don't like the cops, obviously, because they're cookie-cutter, cardboard racist cops. I don't like the dude that
that black man's got a hook.
So that's how it ends, is they do stumble in on him on the floor with his wife, and they shoot him, and they're like, he was going for the guns.
Yeah, like a police officer gets into the car with her, and he's like, you remember what happened, right? The Candyman tried to kill one of our officers.
Yeah.
Because if you don't remember it that way, that clearly means you're accomplice, and we're going to put you in jail.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So they kill him, and obviously he does have a hook for a hand. Right, the bloke that kidnaps him calls the police, and he puts on like a white voice, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, there's a guy with a hook, and he's like, I think he's killing people. And then they...
oh my God!
Yeah, like he's engineered a cop shooting.
Yeah.
And then they do it, and I guess you're meant to think, they would have done it anyway. Like, just because he's black, and he doesn't have to be threatening, they just shot him. And then you're meant to really be on her side, because like... it's like a Nolan film. A line takes on different meanings through the... When she's in the back of the car, she's like, let me see myself in the mirror. And then she just
and the cop's like, no.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, but
like,
he does it anyway.
What the fuck are you doing? And then, because she says, I'll say anything you want if you let me do it. And then she goes, Candyman. And then the more she says it, she starts smiling. And like the meaning... And you're meant to go, ooh, yeah, she's fucking gonna get her. But like, okay, there's that one fuckhead cop that's trying to like get you. What about all the other cops? The ones that get killed. The one that's actually a cunt gets away.
Yeah, but they deliberately don't show you the identity of the cop that killed her husband.
No.
So you just it's like, it's all cops.
But that's exactly the point. It's cops. Cops are the bad guys.
Yeah.
Because like they patrol the neighborhood, don't they? And he's like, it's apparently to keep us safe, but it's actually to keep us in. It's like, well... You can argue till the cows come home about where the white people created the ghetto and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, sure, they did back in the day. But the high crime rate, the robbery, the murder, maybe you should be kept in. Maybe we don't want you fucking going out into Chicago and causing harm. Stay in the fucking ghetto. Well, not
just that. It's like, can you see why you're constantly interacting with the police?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's not even getting to that. But it's one of those films, isn't it? No likable characters.
No. But like that art dealer, right? Quickly get rid of her.
Yeah.
Because she's killed by the Candyman. I think the idea is that she gave him a bad review, justly.
Yeah, it's pretentious wank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she kind of like dresses him down.
Yeah.
There and then, like, it's a terrible ass. It's like, like she does that in his face. She doesn't, but
she makes a woke point. She says, you go into disenfranchised neighborhoods and you just exploit their trauma for your art.
Yeah.
That's a point the film probably believes. The filmmakers believe.
So she does that.
But does she not have a right to say it because she's white? Is that the idea?
Oh, maybe.
But even though she's right, she is white.
Well, no, because like she does that and then she walks away and you're like, that art critic, what a bitch.
Yeah.
And then the two people are killed in front of that piece of art, and therefore that art is like... When they're talking about the murders, they talk about that piece of art. It's like, they were found in front of this piece of art called, say his name.
Yeah.
So that like he gets in touch with the art critic again, and now she's like interested.
Yeah.
Because like, your piece was cited in a murder case.
Yeah.
Sorry, is the film having a go at her for being interested in something when it becomes interesting?
Well, I suppose because she's falsifying interest in the actual art, isn't she? So she's still lying.
Yes.
Because she's interested in what's around it. She doesn't actually
story
like the art.
it's taken on,
Certainly not enough to get butchered by Candyman.
No.
This thing, when he's a villain, fine. Villains kill good people.
Yeah.
Not that she's good, but But then it turns out that they're justified anyway, the Candyman.
Yeah.
So like it's fine. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's such a confusing film. And it so doesn't need to be. No likable characters. It's a film for critics.
Yeah.
Not for an audience. Not for horror fans. Not for just people that want to be entertained.
I understand the film so little that I don't know if this is a film for woke people. I don't know if you're woke, whether you can like watch the film and go, yes, that's...
And disentangle its like intention.
Yeah.
I think that if you're really woke, there's going to be... the fact that they're all black will be enough for you. But if there's enough one-off lines that you go, yeah, he said that.
But that's the thing, like the context around it is what makes it confusing. That point the art dealer makes about artists go in and appropriate the trauma of others.
Yeah.
Yes. Good point.
Yeah.
But she gets killed for being wrong.
She's punished for that, yeah.
She's punished for that.
Yeah.
So does that not, like, undermine the point? Does that not make you think that the film doesn't agree with that point?
Yeah.
That it's being critical of it through killing off the character that made it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really, yeah.
There's a character wearing a Joy Division t-shirt, and that's when I knew that
you were done.
That I was done with... I mean, it didn't, it wasn't grabbing me. But that was the point where, like, okay... There are some films where I could see that and you could get away with it. And the fact that it's made me really hate it.
Yeah.
Because that's a little comment as well, isn't it? It's like the thing that she's probably never heard them. Well, yes. She has. But she was born after them and she's wearing like... It's like a Nirvana t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
It's making that point. And then she even says, oh, love will tear us apart. And he goes, we get it. You're like Joy Division.
Yeah, was that the film trying to be like it was making fun of that type of character? Like, because she's clearly Candyman fodder.
Yes.
Right? She's going to get killed by Candyman, as is he. As a result, she's not going to get much character because we're not going to see her for long. So was that supposed to be the film like making fun of the fact that she's got no character?
Yeah, that she's just like a millennial who kind of soaks up.
Yeah. Like she has this... The one thing we know about her is she likes Joy Division.
Yeah.
And it's like even infected the
it's her identity.
Dialogue. It's literally her identity.
Yeah. Yes, I think so.
Yeah, because I rolled my eyes at the film thinking that's what it was doing. So if that's what it was doing... then you, sir, have had an eye roll. Off me.
At what point did you throw a tissue at the screen? Was that when the cop was saying, you know what, Yeah,
I think it was that, okay,
we're going full on.
Why? Yeah. What are we doing now? What's happening now? Yeah. What terrible thing that white people do are we having a go at now?
Yeah. There is one bit that I liked.
Okay.
But perversely. Because it was so kind of... It's the moment where there's 5 high school girls talking into the mirror.
Oh, no, I laughed as well at this,
saying Candyman. And then, I think on the 4th one... So there's 4 white girls and 1 Asian girl.
Yeah.
And on the 4th one, a window kind of slams open.
Yeah.
And the Asian girl just goes, nope. And just like fucks off. So that was funny in and of itself. Like, James Humphreys, our friend, popped into my mind, fuck that noise.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise. And she just leaves. I just find it funny, like... She's between black and white. So she's white enough that she's going to appropriate the Candyman in the mirror thing. But she's still kind of ethnic. So she
can't get killed by the Candyman. So she gets to
leave their life. It was such like an obvious...
And also like, oh wow, the Asians truly are the smart ones. Because she was like, I'm not doing this.
I'm out. So that was funny. That probably wasn't their intention, was it? That the Asian one leaves.
I don't know.
But the fact that there's 4 white girls and 1 Asian one.
Yeah, and the Asian one leaves.
Yeah.
I also like as well that if you are like... If it is truly like, there's a reason that the Candyman only kills white people.
Yeah.
Like, if that really is part of, like, whatever the film is trying to say.
Yeah.
And the fact that all of those victims, all of the Candyman's victims, have wronged the Candyman.
Yes.
Or no, have just wronged black people.
Right.
Because, like, the 2 art dealers, the 2 art people who get killed in the exhibit, they're like, that black artist is terrible. We're going to fire his wife.
Yeah.
And then the Candyman kills them.
Yes.
The critic is like, oh, I'm pretending to care about your art now that it's like got value around it. And then those like high school girl, because the high school girl was just like at the exhibit.
Yeah.
Like she popped up again. And I was like, oh yeah, you focused on her
she
for a minute.
She took a picture, didn't she, of the thing, Candyman. Yeah.
And then she just leaves the film. And you're like,
it's like, I think the criticism is she's like a tourist.
Yes.
Yeah, but so is he. But go on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then like they do the Candyman thing and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then as they're leaving the bathroom, a black girl like runs into the bathroom and she like goes into the stall, and it's clear that like she's in the high school hierarchy, she's not one of the cool girls.
Yes.
She goes into the stall. So the cool girls start like banging on the cubicle, being like, fucking whoever you are.
Yeah.
And that's when the Candyman kills them. It's like he waited until they quote unquote wronged a black person.
Yeah, well, okay. So all of these things that have been about black vengeance. So Candyman Watchmen. Like, at the end of Watchmen, he what's his face? Hooded Justice. He kills all those neo-Nazis, right? Or like just all those people at that.
Yeah.
Or he arranges it, whatever. I can't remember that. And he gets away with it, and it's like it's fine. It was justified. I just want to see one of these films, and it's easier in a way, but it's truer. That like Candyman, that's fine with me. Like the idea of a slave son that was butchered horrifically and just kills white people, and then it takes someone to go, they're not all bad. Like, let's deal with the scars of the past. There's no denying what happened, but to move forward, we have to. Okay, it's cutesy, but it's actually also true. And just, all these black people in these films, it's always totally justified that they just get to do it because.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm sick of it, George. I'm so fucking sick of it. Like Yahya Abdul-Mateen II. He's the main character in Candyman.
Oh, right, okay. What else has he done? I know.
What he's Dr. Manhattan.
Yes, yeah.
He's in Trial of Chicago 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
My lawyer's not present.
He's one of the new A-list, I would say. He's in everything now.
Right.
Like, obviously, he's now fucking Candyman and Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
I don't get him. He's a perfectly decent actor, but the fact that he's, like, the go-to guy at the minute, he's yet to wow me.
Yeah,
He's fine in Chicago 7.
Who's the main one in Get Out? Again?
Daniel Kaluuya.
That is Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching that thinking, him? Really?
Yeah. He's good in Widows. Like, he has done a thing that I really liked him in.
Oh, no, yeah, he's good in Widows. But, like, until, like, it turns out I'd seen him prior to Get Out.
Yeah.
But Get Out, when I watched it, it felt like this was the first thing I was seeing him in.
Yeah.
I was going like, yeah, not him.
Yeah, he's very uncharismatic.
He's the weakest part of this. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
And I guess Lupita Nyong'o is very good in Us.
Yeah.
But if you count this, I know he didn't this is not a Jordan Peele film. I think he wrote it
and produced it.
But if you count those as a trilogy, he's 1 for 3 with protagonists, I think.
Yeah, well, if it is a trilogy, this feels like the culmination because it's so thesisy. Inner city, Chicago, black trauma, iconic black horror movie.
Yeah,
this is the last, but he's going to make more. Obviously,
he's going to make more.
But the new one looks alright. It's I can't remember what it's called now.
Oh, is that the one where it's like a cloud over a
really
town?
Cool cover. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to that. But it was just way too. I don't even know the word for it.
Yeah,
unnecessarily convoluted and academic. It was a film for critics.
Yeah,
yeah.
I know that one of my criticisms of Worth was that it didn't feel like it was. Not that it wasn't thesis-y enough, but it felt like there was a lot of material. There were many conversations to be had about like the minutiae of like what they were dealing with and like the ethics of what they were dealing with and like is this a good thing we're doing?
Yeah,
and it kind of skirts over a lot of that.
Yeah, no, it wasn't dealing with the complexity. There's nothing wrong with that, but the sign of great art is making complex issues simple. And this did the opposite.
It made something simple quite complicated.
Complex. Yeah.
And my point was going to be, just because I'm trying to give like this episode a theme.
Sure.
With Worth, it seemed to forego a lot of the discussions that could be had about it.
Yeah.
For just kind of like a simple, emotional, quote-unquote character story.
Yes.
This has done the opposite.
Yeah.
This has foregone character and emotion and...
Giving us an essay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just stuff. It's just about stuff. It's just, here's a thing about police brutality.
Yeah.
Here's a thing about appropriation.
I'll Google after we're done what happened in that film. But, and maybe we have just been idiots. But whether it does actually make sense when you read up on it, the fact is the experience of watching it it's deranging and confusing.
Yeah.
And we're not idiots.
No.
It's not like we're easily fooled.
I like to think not.
No. So the very fact that even if there is a logical consistency, it didn't feel that way is a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't recommend Candyman really to anybody because...
I don't know who to recommend it to.
Exactly. Who's it for?
Yeah.
I don't know who it's for.
Yeah.
Fans of the original, as far as I understand, it's a lot more slashery and like it knows what it's doing.
Yeah, like you've got the social commentary stuff, but I don't know if that's like... If it's well woven into the slasher stuff.
Yeah.
Or if there's just enough slasher stuff to like okay, you've gone through the social commentary stuff, here's your reward.
Yes. Well, I will watch the original. But yeah, I got a feeling they picked up a couple of themes and just really ran with it and ran nowhere with it.
Yeah.
And it's like tell everyone. It's like that Stuart Lee joke, isn't it, where he says, I will repeat the phrase carpet remnant world toward the end of the show, and that will give the illusion of structure.
Yes.
And it's that, like tell everyone, it gives the illusion of, ooh, there was a point.
Yeah, we've learned something. We have to go and...
Yeah, and I haven't learned anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
No.
So that's our review of Candyman.
Yes.
4 hours. Dead on.
Spot on. God knows how much of this will be lost. Maybe you'll hear the full 4 hours, maybe you won't.
I think they probably will, to be honest.
You hear a lot of it, I imagine. Yeah. Our apologies.
Sorry.
Hopefully...
So we always end by saying sorry.
Yeah. Rather than saying bye, just say sorry.
I think we should... Yeah, sorry. Never for what we said, but for how much we said.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I apologise for nothing individual, but I'm generally sorry.
Okay. Generally sorry.
Generally sorry.
Okay.
Not genuinely.
No.
No.
Okay. All right. Oh, in that case.
In that case.
Sorry.
Sorry.